Alright, welcome race fans. Man, we're live tonight here, Rockingham. That's right, they call it the Rock, and it's for the Rock 400 here for the Majors Sportsman Series. I'm going to kick this thing off right tonight with the K&N cars. Man, we had an exciting race at Daytona with the Cup machines with these guys. Well, tonight they are going on to an even more trickier track here. One that it's a tough place to get around. Obviously, the NASCAR guys don't run here anymore, but still was an exciting place. Well, I'm Joe White up here in the booth, accompanied by John T. Wimmis. John, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing great, Joe. Looking forward to this race. It's one of my favorite tracks. Got a lot of character to it. And by character, I mean a whole lot of bumps. It can cause a whole lot of problems. So, looking forward to see how these guys get.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And just a special throw out there, because obviously Tuesday is my anniversary. And Rockingham, the dragway across the street from it, that's where I got engaged at 19 years ago. So there you go. 20 years ago. There you go.
It's a great story for rednecks, Joe.
Hey, man, I'm telling you what, it was awesome, man. I had, it's a ball. It's been a heck of a journey, but yeah, I mean, the drag strip is right across the street. Used to run, obviously, there a lot, and yeah, that's where I got, engaged. Hey, why not?
Different strokes, baby.
Hey, man.
So.
Hey, look.
Cool.
Don't want to be traditional. I'll say that. But either way, well, I'm going to tell you what, these guys, they're going to gear it up here. Like you just said, it is a bumpy style track. This track is very, very harsh on the drivers, very harsh on about the equipment here. And we're going to see these guys try to modulate through this place, but ought to be a good one here. These major guys, open setup here, but let's grid them up here, because tonight, man on pole, Mark Stevenson puts it out front. Got Joshua going to start there in second, Nathan up in the third, Brian Hollick there in the fourth. Got David there starting in fifth, Chris up in the sixth, Robert starting the seventh, Daniel Johnson there in the eighth, Joshua Merchant in the ninth, and Casey Rounds the top 10s. We looked at the rest of it. We saw an awesome race with these guys at Daytona, and it was cool. And the cool thing about this series is it's not just small races here. These guys have to be patient. They have to learn, because it's a full-on race. Rockingham 400, well, the reason it's the 400 is because it's 390 laps. It's the full 400 miles here at the Rock, so it's going to be interesting here tonight.
It certainly is. This track is just really tricky, and, things can happen in a second here, but the biggest thing these guys are going to be dealing with right now is a track temp of 126 degrees, so it's going to be not a whole lot of grip out there, and like we were talking about earlier, this track is extremely bumpy, probably one of the bumpiest that NASCAR series ever raced on, and one of the bumpiest on the iRacing service. So it'll be interesting if these guys have their cars set up enough to handle those bumps and help them keep that traction and keep the front ends gripped up to get them to turn.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one there. So we'll have to see what these guys can do around this place. Is getting set here to go green flag racing. Joshua's going to be the man pulling them out front there. And that's something that we'll be talking about pretty much a lot of the night. Like you said, the bumpiness, the harshness of this place, and what these guys are going to have to deal with throughout. Now, I mean, long race for the drivers. For us up here, we're just going to be talking about it. But these guys have got to actually drive it the entire time. Green flags in the air, we're racing, and boy, I tell you what, Mark got a good jump on the field.
Yeah, great start by him there, and that's what he wanted, was to get out front, get away from these guys, and let the rest of them try to settle it out back here. And you got to be careful coming off of two here. Let the tires come up to temp, since they've come out with this new tire model. Cars want to come out from under you here, and you don't want to get too tight, slap your right rear against that wall. A lot of bad things can happen here over.
No doubt about it. Well, Mark actually looking pretty good out front right now. Nathan sitting in the second place spot. Remember, the biggest thing with this here is these guys run an open style setup, folks. So they pretty much run their own setup throughout the whole entire race. And I think that's really going to help, because we talked about that before. There's fixed setups and then there's open setup. And the fixed setup here at Rockingham, and it can be a handful.
Yeah, it definitely is. And most of the time, they're tight setups, as most of them are on iRacing for some reason. But the good thing here is you definitely want a long run car. You can go a really long way here on fuel. The biggest thing is going to be your tire run. How long are you willing to stay out and wear those tires out? But this track will absolutely kill you right front if you don't take care of it. And then turn 2 gets extremely tricky coming off. You can get real tight, go up there, slap the wall, then you come down in front of the field. Coming off before the back end wants to come around. So we'll see who's got it set up here for good short run speed and who's worried about the long run.
Absolutely. So here right now, looking pretty good. As Mark still got the top spot here for the moment. Man's got a good setup so far. Putting down some bad fast time. Nathan's right there. Kind of here in the back here, about 13th, 14th place spot. You got a full-on race happening back here. You got a lot of cars side by side.
And a lot of these guys are probably long run type cars, weren't too worried about short run speed and qualifying, maybe trying to take care of their stuff. Some guys may be backing off on purpose to take care of their stuff here. So just got to get their traffic, as easily as you can here. But Zach Brown right now running in 12th, one of those cars trying to make his way up through the field here. Looks like he's got some pretty decent speed right now.
He does. He's got that number 17 machine looking pretty good so far. Like I said, up to 12 right behind him. You got Gustavo, and we got a car around. Got a wreck happening in the back here. Uh-oh. Crashing already. Steven involved in that. Let's go back here and get an idea. Oh, looks like he just got tapped from behind a little bit. And from there on, it was basically a pile-up. Watch it one more time here. The 58, he's going into turn. Looks like he just went to go down. No room. 2 cars just trying to occupy the same space, same time. And he hits the wall. Next thing you know, you got a lot of other cars involved. This is not very much of a... I would say this track actually doesn't really self-clean itself very well.
No, it really doesn't. And the other thing, there's really nobody's fault in that. And the thing I was going to get to was there are bumps going into the corner. So if you take a really shallow entry and you're down on that line, that 29 car is going to bounce his way up the track anyway. So he's trying to avoid those bumps. And so just not enough real estate for 2 cars.
I agree with you on that one. So like you just said, I mean, 2 guys just trying to take up the same real estate there at the same time, and bad things normally happen. So under caution here for the first time here tonight. Rockingham. Mark Stevens, though, has been the man out front. Now, do you pit? Stay out.
Well, you definitely stay out. Track position here is, way too important. And all the leaders have stayed out. Of course, if you're running, 13th, 14th on back, you're going to pit and make some changes, get some fresh tires on there. Maybe you found out that, your car's not doing too well right now with the heat on the track. So not going to hurt if you're in the back, but if you're up front, track position's way too important.
And I want to give a shout out here because, we're doing the Sportsman Series here, and I want to appreciate the guys here at the Majors Series for allowing us here at OSR Network, online simracingnetwork.com, to bring these awesome guys in action here on the track to you. Now, obviously, you can check out, they have a pro split series here for the Majors. Check out the pacificmajors.com. Check those guys out on the website, give you all the information. But they do have a pro series. If you're interested in checking that out, check out GSRC on YouTube. You can check out Race Spot. They're doing like the European, and I believe they're actually the Australian is done by Sim Speed TV, I believe is who it is that does that one. So definitely, if you want to check out the top split guys, check those guys out here. But these are the sportsmen's here, and there's many different series in the majors throughout this entire thing. I mean, the majors is basically brought up on big time races. Obviously, they do full style races. I mean, we got an Indy 500 coming up, a World 600 coming up, and a lot of great road course racing coming up here throughout the year. And it's going to be nice and awesome here. But these guys here get to showcase what it are. I mean, the Sportsman Series, they have their own point system, which we'll talk about as the year goes on. They have their own championship. And it's kind of neat that they get the limelight, too, along with, obviously the pro guys up there at the top side.
That's the one good thing. I remember the first race that we did with these guys here at the majors. It was their 24-hour race that we covered for
Oh yeah.
quite some time. It was a lot of fun, for us that didn't know much about road racing. But the one thing that I like about these guys is they've got a place for everybody to race of any skill level. If you're just getting started out with iRacing and you want to do some league racing, you're not really sure, they got a place for you. Whether you're new, whether you're experienced, you're looking for a new place to race, more competition, you name it, they got a place for you here.
Oh, absolutely. So, and a lot of times during, we did a lot of interviews during that 24-hour race. The reason we haven't done a lot of interviews here is because a lot of these guys are in their own channels, they're on their own team type thing. So, don't have a way of getting a hold of a lot of the drivers to be able to, but definitely want to showcase a lot of these teams, a lot of these drivers out here tonight. Look into them and show off their paint jobs. It's a long race, so we definitely gonna have a lot to talk about. And obviously, hey, viewers out there, hey, you chime in. Let us know what you want to see, what you like, and if you got your favorite driver out there, let us know. If your family member out there, definitely give a shout out. I love the family members out there. Pace cars in, we're back green flag, and tell you what, it looks like Mark Stevenson. He's got to jump on these starts.
It's a big advantage to being the leader. You set the tone for the start here, and inside's obviously the place to be, and get the thing gripped up with these cars. They take off
really well so far right now. Let's get an inside view because you mentioned it before the race started. The bumps right now riding with Joshua Allen, and I'm gonna tell you what, you can already see pretty straight right down the straight, but man, going into the turns, you can see that wheel. Folks, he's not sawing the wheel, what you see there. That's physically the track doing that. So imagine that, 300 some laps. And, John, now you're familiar with this. If he has a direct drive wheel, what kind of shape is he going to have to be in after this kind of race?
All right, it's going to wear you out. If you're somebody like me, and I like to have a lot of feedback in the wheel so I can catch the car, I feel the tires, everything that they do. These are all bumps. Going into one, they're major bumps that you're going to hit. And then right before the center of one, going into three, all the way through the center there, bumps right there. So, and they're not just tiny bumps. If you've got your feedback up, you're taking on a pretty strong feat here trying to do this if you've got your feedback turned up a lot. I did some practice laps here in this car just to get around it and see what it felt like, and it can be exhausting. But you'll see these guys as the tires wear out, they'll want to migrate to maybe the middle. Some guys might even try to run the top lane. It's not the fastest way around, but if you're having trouble with those bumps, if you haven't got your car set up right to be able to maneuver over the bumps, then you want to run that middle to high lane and miss them all together.
And you just saw that right there as we're still riding with Joshua. He went into that turn right there. It looks like the car actually kind of drove up the track a little bit. This place can get very, very slick over time, and the more the tires wear out. But there he's going very low, and it looks like turn 1 and 2, and then in turn 3 and 4, takes a little higher lane in that one.
Yeah, he's really having to wrestle this car right now. I'm riding along in the cockpit view just to see what he's doing with his wheel, and you can tell 1 and 2, he's really having to fight it pretty bad. But 3 and 4, the last lap around, he was really sawing back and forth on that thing. So it looks like the bumps are giving him a little bit of trouble right now, but he's taking like a mid-entry to it. Looks like he wants to get it lower, but it just doesn't want to go down there.
Yeah, and true, I'm with you on that one there. I was just watching it because like the car's just wanting to slide just a little bit. Got to be careful though, because those bumps will knock you for a loop. Right behind him, you got David right there along with Brian Hollick. Those two are trying to see what they can do here. As Mark still leading this thing, and here he's got a 1 second lead over the second place man and Nathan. Like Mark right now has got a pretty good setup, and think about it though, haven't been on a long green flag run. So it'll be interesting to see who has the best, kind of long style car or long run car.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I've been watching this battle for 10th between Rob Powers and Lucas. And Lucas took it away from him, caught Rob up on the outside there. Outside's really not the place to be unless the guy on the inside has a problem. So little bit of battling right back here in these spots, trying to make up some positions for these guys. But for the most part, I think everybody's trying to settle in. You got to turn some laps, and to be there at the end, you got to have all four corners of this car in one piece.
Oh yeah, right there. You're talking about Lucas. He's trying to work over the man for the 9th place spot there, Casey. And actually, Casey's not going to give too much of a fight. He sees that he's a lot faster than him and kind of moves on over there. That's another thing, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of these guys, and they'll admit to themselves, they'll tell you if you talk to them, a lot of these guys will say, we're not oval guys. We don't run a lot of these oval tracks. Some of these guys do, but a lot of them will say no. They're more of road racers and road course guys, but they do have a lot of ovals here this season. Like I said, we'll be running actual Indy car, an Indy 500, Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte there. I'll be running that one, just to name a few. We've got some dirt track stuff coming up, but, amongst the other road courses, so right now, basically, they're doing pretty good out on this track. I got my hat off to them.
Yeah, doing a great job. I'm still watching the 45 car right now, maneuvering his way around here. Turning some pretty decent times right now, turning to 23.70. Looks like he's really going after it. Got Joshua Mertz up here, 24.60. Some good lap times there. The guys up front doing a great job right now. It looks like some of these guys that really have their cars dialed in, and some of these guys moving to the back are fighting for grip right now.
Yeah, I see that. Mark up front, he's got that run of 23s. It's not too bad. It's kind of spread out a little bit, but you can already start seeing the guys that are better on a long run. Back here, like Matt, in that 12th place spot, he just went around Robert right there for 13. So you're starting to see them pick them off one by one. Lucas, though, is got to be one of the fastest that are picking out. He's running about 23.9s back there in the back. Already got Zachary Brown on pit road. I don't know if I got for him. Accurate. Pit road. Steve was one. He's the one that had a lot of damage on that caution.
Just trying to get it fixed up and hope for another caution and come out and make some laps up here. Watch the 47, Rob Powers just moved into 10th place, taking that away from Casey Sawich in the 65. Casey's been having some issues here, lost a couple spots over the course of about the last 5 laps or so. I don't know if he's trying to just slow it up and back it down by design here, but it also looks like he's moving himself way up the track, with a midpoint entry, and then it's just moving up the track as he goes. So looks like maybe he's fighting a little bit of a tight condition here.
Well, let me ask, did you ever like this track? I mean, I've raced it a couple times in the past, mostly with the trucks and all. Never really did much with a cup car or K&N style car. Did more with the trucks and all. It was kind of mixed feeling on me because of the bumps. I never really felt comfortable inside the truck racing here. I just couldn't. For some reason, I just could not get, the feel of the track.
I say this a lot, but there are a lot of tracks that I say, oh, it's my favorite track. But this is actually one of my favorite tracks to race on because it's just so different. There's so much character to it. It's so unpredictable. Even if the track is gripped up and it's a cool day, it's still extremely difficult to drive because of the bumps and your throttle and everything that you're having to do here. It's a driver's type track, and I like that. And if you're one of those guys, you either got the talent, if you got your little Logitech wheel, or you've got a direct drive wheel like I do, and you could take advantage of that and try to use that to your advantage. That's what I do on tracks that are a little bit trickier, and most of the time it pays off if I don't do anything stupid. But this was it's fun. I enjoy racing at this track. It's a lot of fun. It's always been one of my favorite tracks.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, and you're right. It is a fun style track. It definitely keeps you on your toes going in and out of the turns there. Hey, what's up, John, Cody? How y'all doing? JR, shout out. Jeremy and Cody out there says, man, look, we got the 69, the 069. That'd be Daniel Johnson. He's hanging on to the 6th place spot right now. The 350, the number 350. Number 250. Who we got out here? 350 would be Greg. Greg. Right, last name. We'll say Greg MC. How's that? I like that, John. That's John Marine out there. That brings me back. Now, this is, I'm going to put a little history here of Rockingham Raceway, the Speedway here. You know, the nickname is The Rock. And obviously, The Rock, if you go back into the 90s, and again, I told you, I used to do a lot of drag racing over there at the drag strip back in the 90s. Well, one of the cool little history things is the website used to be therock.com. Actually, the WWE actually bought the website from the Rockingham Dragway back in the 90s because of, well, The Rock. They wanted that name, so got a little step back in history there.
Yeah. Odd history, if you like it. Battle for the lead up front. The 6 car moving up to the outside, that's Nathan Medina trying to work over the 53 right here. Got up on the outside, didn't work. Dove in back behind him. Now he's going to look to the inside. And the 53 right now, Mark Stevenson, is really trying to fight him off.
Feel like Mark might have tore the tires up there by getting out front. And now that Nathan has got that car might set up here, we got that, like I say, longer green flag run. Now it's starting to show guys who are better on the
when he
low
gets
running.
in the back of him.
I see that. Wow. Oh, Mark was able to hold on to it, but woo! Yeah, a little love tap there.
And I was just getting ready. I was thinking in my mind that was going to happen because Mark was 2 3/10 off of lap times that the 6 was running, and the 6 was super fast. And so I was worried about that. Happens when you go into 1 and 2, you're all over the brakes and trying to carry your speed through there, but the guy in front of you is a little slower, and that could happen. Now the 6 has front end damage, and how's that going to affect him?
You know what? I got to ask there, man, because like you just said, the 6 machine there, Nathan, he ran up and caught Mark awful quick. Is there anything you're seeing that Mark's car was doing different? I mean, it still looks like it's going around the track fine, but I don't know if
he was
Mark's
losing
just not
the
set
rear
up.
end.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. If you saw anything that I'm not seeing there that definitely set up wise or anything, because I mean his entry and exits. I mean the car doesn't look like it's bouncing around like we're talking about some of the other guys, but again, you just never know with this place.
And the biggest thing that I think he's just putting up a big fight here really early on in this run. I would have just let the 6 go. I mean, we haven't even had our first round of pit stops. Go on and make your changes to your setup. You know, you probably ran it too hard. You know, trying to get a gap here in the 6 is set up for the long run, obviously, with the lap times that he was turning. But I could tell as he was trying to battle with the 6 to keep him behind him that the looked like the rear one wanted to come around just a little bit. So probably burned up his right rear a little bit. And hindsight being what it is, and armchair quarterback like we are, I would have let him go.
Yeah, and you know the racer mentality sometimes is, you know, you try to fight for that position. Obviously, you're in the lead and want to. It's like Steven got a crash again under caution here, and Steven involved in that one again. Ow. He was involved in the first one here, but let's go see what happened on this one. Looks like he's up really high. Oh, the car got into the wall. And then it came down and clipped Gerald. Holy cow, man. I tell you what, John, that thing just got up into the wall. Just out of nowhere.
He's got a really high entry through 1 and 2. I mean, he goes in, and he's trying to give the guys behind him room, obviously, with him being in 24th. But you got to remember that the wall here really juts out at you, and you can't be that high and expect to make the turn right there.
Well, the bad thing is Gerald, nowhere to go, almost missed it right there and just barely got clipped from behind. And, man, that car got shot into the air with a hard lick.
Yeah, anytime you bounce off the wall off a 2 here, you're going to bounce off into the guy right back in the middle of the track here and the guys in front of you, even though you see he's trying to keep it up in the wall there, you're still going to bounce off of that and come back across the track here. There's no way to keep it against the wall here. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like we got all the leaders, everybody choosing to come down pit road now. 45 laps in. Most of these guys didn't pit for that first caution.
And I'm with you there. I think it's about time for the pit. I mean, 45 laps in. Now you know what your car can do. You got your tires. And you're right. Now, the NASCAR trucks did make a return back here to Rockingham. You know, back in the day, we call these the K&N, and a little history lesson, I guess. I'm going to throw out some history lessons all night long, I guess. But we on iRacing call these the K&N cars. But, folks, if you remember, back when they did run at Rockingham, these actually were the old Cup cars before the car tomorrow and all that. So these are technically were the older style Cup cars. Way less downforce, a lot of horsepower up underneath them. We call them K&Ns here on the iRacing series, but obviously they were the last one. So these cars back in the day actually did run on this track for the Cup Series.
It's actually the same type of car Steve Park won in after Senior was killed at Daytona. Steve Park won Rockingham.
Yep. And probably one of the best finishes a lot of people know is Ricky Craven and came to the line.
Kurt Busch at Darlington. Yep.
That one was a good one. That was another one here, though, that they had a lot of great finishes coming out of turn 4 here. Side-by-side styles. Like I said, on iRacing, we call them the K&N car. But in hindsight, in the real world of NASCAR, these were, really the older style, way back in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Like you said, if you remember correctly, in 01, these were the cars that they raced in the Cup Series. Fortunately, it is a car that, Dale Earnhardt Sr. crashed in at Daytona back then. Yeah, I'm a world of information to know.
You are a plethora of information. These cars are pretty much what we call cars from back in the good old days.
Oh, yeah. You had to manhandle these machines. I mean, you really had to race these cars, even with the setups and whatnot they had. But, yes, the drivers back then would have had to manhandle these style machines. There was no downforce, less horsepower like today. These cars had upwards of 700-800 horses, way less downforce in them. So you had to muscle them.
Yeah, you don't have to quote Dale Jr., the big ass spoilers on the back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, where you can't see anything and whatnot. So, but getting set to go back green. Race cars about to drop off. Got 2 new guys out front here, Nathan and David. Get a good jump out there. So we'll see what Mark Stevenson can do here. We know he's got a good, I'm going to say short run car, but remember he fell off the pace there towards the end of that run.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I was impressed with is the 42 with David being able to get the jump right with him. And now you see the 53 forcing his way inside. He's sideways, catching that thing. Almost looked like a dirt late model.
I saw that, man. It was really close there for a moment. He went in there, but then thought better of it because, and you got to get what you can get maybe early on. I would say that with a fixed style setup, maybe with these style setups. And the 3 machine almost around behind him there. Joshua Allen, he had to chase that car.
And both of these guys, teammates, the 53 and the 3, look like they're fighting a little bit of loose condition. I'd say that the 53, he's not just trying to get all he can get. He wants to get to the bumper of that.
And he's going to make the pass this time by on the inside. He's definitely making it. Very aggressive move right there, but he made that pass on him. David probably thought better of trying to fight it. See, looks like the leader, Nathan, up there, though. Remember those 2? Nathan ran down Mark. Maybe that's... it's going to be interesting to see if Mark gets to his back bumper.
Yeah, I definitely think that the 53 right now is driving with a little bit of heat under the helmet and got himself a little target out there. Now what he does with the target when he gets there, We'll see. Maybe he'll just pass him. Maybe he'll just move him a little bit. That's fine too. That's racing. The 6 gets sideways loose.
I saw that, man. I'm gonna tell you what, these guys all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these cars are a handful, and you see Nathan up there is battling it. Now that's something Mark's gonna have to keep in mind, because Nathan might be running for his life. Here goes Mark to the inside. His battle for the lead. Mark's got to be careful here. You don't want to wreck himself.
Well, right there, the 6 really came down and pinched him off right there. He knew that he was getting a run on him, and the 53 had to have lifted. That's all I know right there. But he definitely pinched him coming off into the corner there. Maybe the 53 is going to back up now and say, all right, let's just calm down and approach this in a different way instead of pushing it, because now he sees the 6 is going to fight back.
Yeah, and Nathan right there, man, out front, he is definitely trying to fight to hold on to that lead. But that car is becoming a handful as Mark is there. I think it's a matter of time. And I say that, but then again, we saw Nathan on the long run down Mark. So maybe the 6 there is thinking, if I can stay out long enough, I can maybe walk away from that 53 machine of Mark.
Well, the other thing is, being the 53 right now, you're really pushing the 6, so that you're not allowing him to run the pace that he was able to run before when he caught you. So now you're putting the pressure on him, make him use his stuff up. And maybe you think if you make him use his stuff up, you'll still be better at the end. But either way, the 6 is not getting to run the same pace that he ran in the previous run when he was running the 53 down. They're really making him go after it.
Caution, got a car around. Matt in the back here, around. Let's see what happened to him. Like a single car crash coming out the turn. That thing just looped out from under him, got to the outside wall, slams the inside wall there. The 69 machine of Matt. I hate that on his end. Looks like the car just shot up the track, got a little bit out from under him. But I tell you what, it was heating up here at front between Mark and old Nathan, and David actually was coming into the picture there for a moment.
Yeah, really going to be putting the pressure on this. The restart should be fun to watch here, but I'm watching the replay of the 69 car, Matt, and it looked like he was fighting a wheel on the inside, like the rear end came out from under him on exit there. He was tried to catch it.
Mark's on pit road right now. Wow.
It's not a bad idea, really. I mean, with the way that those guys were running, the times that they were running, plus he still has damage to fix.
He does, and I was about to mention that there. I mean, do you think, because we just saw both of those guys actually getting wiggled. Now, the damage, he does have a little bit on the front. Don't know where that one came from. The damage from the back, we know where it came from. That was between him and the 6 machine there, Nathan, earlier. So Nathan has the damage on the front. We saw the 53 there, Mark, kind of looked like he's chasing that car a little bit loose. That spoiler's a little bent. That going to affect him throughout this race?
It can a little bit. I mean, really, it looks to me like his damage is more on the left side there. I mean, it's in the middle. I mean, really, if anything, it's kind of jacked up in the center, so it's higher in the air. So it might be more.
All right. Well, I mean, I got to pick your brain about some things here. I mean, you're the man that knows a lot about how these cars react and stuff. I mean, I've watched you race many a times. I know you know how to get around the track. So it just looks like those top 2 guys were starting to really chase those cars, and you know, it brought about some of the other guys behind them there. So we've got to see how this thing plays out as we get to go back green. Appreciate everybody. And the old John Marine out there, man. By the way, want to give a shout out. I watched some of your blogs, and kind of cool. You know, John's one of the originals here that have stayed with the channel, and you know, just I love the fans, I love the viewers, I love everybody tuning in, and I know the majors, these guys out here enjoy that. Probably got family members throughout now watching, and obviously fans. But you know, John, he doesn't even own iRacing, and he comes and watches this stuff and knows a lot about racing, though. Knows a lot about tracks and stuff. I always
knows a lot about everything.
He does. I mean, the man's got a lot of info. Now, I know a lot about Rockingham because, like I said at the beginning of here, is where I got engaged at. So John up here in the booth with me, he said that was a good redneck moment. Hey,
well, you know.
Well, I mean, it's different. I mean, hey, come on. All right, I'll iterate a little bit more on the story because we're about 2.5 hours from Rockingham, where I actually, Charlotte's actually a lot closer. But Rockingham's about 2.5 hours. And real quick, what I did was I went down before my wife came down several hours before. But I actually put the ring and a note in her car, and I told her, I said, let me know an answer when you get down here. And so, yeah, she had to drive, she had to wait 3-4 hours to think about that one. How's that?
So that's how you ask if she'd marry you, was to leave a note in her?
Yeah, man, I thought it was
That's
cool.
the most romantic damn thing I've ever heard.
I thought it was cool, man. Come on now. I mean, I officially asked her when she got there, but I thought it was, kind of like I snuck in the car. I said, hey, I need to borrow your keys, and I placed the ring in her glove box and put a note on her thing, and I said, I thought it was cool. But anyways, we're going back green flag. Hey. 20 years later, we're still together. There we go. Green flag flies. We're back racing. Nathan, man, takes a jump out front.
A great start right here. Watching Josh right here in the 069. Got a lot of grip here. Looks like he's got 2 teammates behind him.
3 teammates there. 3 different, 3 same cars, looks like there. Daniel, Joshua, and Ron. Oh, they all got the same paint job. I'm going to say, listen, actually, yeah. We got Kinetic Racing. And, well, one of them says Moto322.com for the team name. And Daniel, he's got just Michigan. So I'm going to just go off all 3 of their paint jobs and say they're all Kinetic Racing. And under caution, I'll tell you what, Gustavo not having the night he needs here. Man, that guy, I hate that. Involved in this one. Back in the pack. Oh, again, just you guys taking up the same real estate. Collected a couple other machines there too. Like you went to go dive down and then just got barely clipped by the 42.
Yeah, just not enough room there for those guys in the 42 at that particular spot in the track. Like we've been saying since the start, there are a lot of bumps right there, and you're fighting it, and it will force the nose up a track.
Wow, I hate to see that on that. And the 69 back in it. Matt again there. No place to go. And the caution here, Rockingham. And this place is treacherous. Oh, really is treacherous. Going on there. Yeah, they do look. I'm going to say that they're all teammates there between the Daniel, Joshua, and Rob. I mean, they all run a Kinetic style paint jobs. And get they're all running Kinetic Racing on them. Oh, you're right. And John Marine out there, he's kind of reiterating what we've been talking about here too, John, is rough track. It's a small track. It's a 1 mile here, but I mean, this place is just, it's rough. And I don't, even if you've got a good setup, it's still going to be rough on that setup.
It is, and it drives a whole lot more like a short track, really. And that's because of, your braking zones and how hard you are on the brakes, depending on how you drive it. I mean, I think you're on the brakes a lot going into one, and you really have to back up your braking zone, your entry into one to keep that thing on the bottom. And so you got to use a ton of brakes. So it's got a lot of speed to it, but, the corners, I think, kind of drive like a short track. And that's where you see a lot of guys get in trouble. And this is not one of those tracks where you want to be pinching a guy on the bottom, because that guy will lose his car just running over bumps and not even meaning to.
And it very well can just jump out and bite you, like you said. The bumps here, just so treacherous. I mean, these guys, if you're looking for inside the steering wheel, it looks like they're out there trying to manhandle, wrestle these cars, but really they're not. It's pretty much the actual track itself. So, but they've done an outstanding job so far. I mean, a lot of the wrecks and a lot of the cautions we've seen have basically been, just 2 guys trying to take up the same real estate, or pretty much, product of this track here tonight. So, been a good one here for the majors here tonight for the Rockingham 400 Sportsman Series, man. And these guys out here, they get to showcase their skill. And again, a lot of these guys out here will tell you, We're not oval guys. We're road racing guys. So they're really having a blast and trying to have as much fun as they can. It is open setup out here, and it's just a slew of it. And we got a long way to go. We've kind of been telling a lot of different things, and Rockingham is kind of holds a special place in my heart because what I've been saying all night long, and on the anniversary coming up and all. So I know this place quite well. Used to come here a lot, race the drag strip a lot across the street from it. So, and they actually still run the drag strip. The Rockingham. They do run a couple races. I'm not sure of what their schedule, if they run, what they might run at this track. I know they ran a truck race several years ago, but I don't know if they have any other sanctioned style races that run actually the Rockingham track.
I don't think they've had anything there since the truck race there.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm with you on now. I believe it's not like it would be now the drag strip's wide open because it's an IHRA sanctioned style track. As we're getting set to go back green, here we go. Nathan out front. Green flag, and he gets a good jump out on the field here as those two machines behind him. I think they're going to try to maybe line up. If they're all teammates, I think they're going to just try to line up and maybe see if they can ride and hopefully get a good long green flag run here and see if they can't run down Nathan up there.
Yeah, and the other thing is, just because, the corners and all that are like short track racing, the draft still plays a big factor here. So you've got your car set up and trimmed out to where you can, grab a little bit of that draft and help a guy, or if you get up on your teammate's bumper here, if you catch this leader, you can help, push him around, get him by there. But looks like, it's very early on in the run. Obviously, this is a 393 lap race.
Oh, we got a car upside down. Zachary Brown is flipping. Wow. I can watch that again because he started between Zachary and another machine, and Zachary just went and took a ride. Ouch. Between Casey, 17, they just locked bumpers, got together, and set into that one.
It looked like 65 maybe lost the rear end a bit, maybe was fighting it, came down, got into the door of the 17 there, and carrying a lot of speed, about 130, 35 through there, and can just cause a lot of chaos there. And that's why I say, when you're coming off a 2, a lot of guys push this issue right here, like they did coming off here. The 17 was pretty far ahead. 65 should have lifted, got behind him. I'm not a big fan of being too wide off the 2 at Rockingham.
No, and I think side by side here is really treacherous anyways with the bumps we've been talking about all night long. So, Undercost, now I want to ask you a question here. I don't know if it's something in the patch notes. I know we've got the new damage model coming to the Cup cars, coming to some of the other road cars. But I've noticed here lately, and I know you race a lot, but I've noticed on some of the other broadcasts that when these cars hit the wall, they kind of look a little different with the suspension, but they're actually kind of, I guess, lack of a better word, they look more spongier right now. As I noticed they're flipping and just kind of turning over real easy. Maybe that's something to do with, the new damage model coming and whatnot. I just noticed that they look like they're, look like they're ricocheting a little bit different than what they normally do.
Oh, this track does it too. Now, they've implemented some of those things into just the K&N car. Like when they introduced the new tire model, it was only on this particular car.
That's right.
And then when they felt like they got it right, they put it out across everything. So as iRacing normally does, you got to try it, trial and error and all that good stuff. They eventually get things right. But there's one thing that you can't help when you're racing on a computer is, real crash physics and things like that. The energy of the car has to go somewhere. And we all know in real life, a lot is absorbed through the car, the walls and all that. It's hard to recreate that here. So that's why you see a lot of flips and crazy things going on sometimes, because it's really hard to implement that into this. So the energy of this car moving, and then it connects with the wall. The next thing you know, they're barrel rolling 10 times.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So it's really hard to implement that into the game. not something I want iRacing wasting their time on. I'm okay with seeing some odd crashes happen to get the
Well,
racing right and to make sure the packages are done correctly. So I know a lot of
yeah.
people like the crash physics and, oh, that's really cool, but I don't know why you would think that's cool unless you just enjoy wrecking a lot.
Well, I mean, I have watched some of the videos, and I will say, from what I've seen, and you can go to iRacing.com, folks. You can actually go to iRacing on their YouTube page. They've got a lot of videos that's actually showing off some of the, cool. I mean, it's going to look cool on broadcast, obviously. It won't look cool for a driver, though. I know that because obviously it'd be their car in a million pieces. But it will be kind of cool, debris and stuff flying around. And you just touched on something right there that we haven't really mentioned tonight. The tire model. It is across the board on the Cup car, but it started out with the K&N machine. And it is way different. It's more realistic. Now, that's something these guys are actually battling with, along with this car in general. This car here is way more of a handful. Even if it is an open setup, it still is a handful. And then you gotta factor in that new tire model. So, hey, these guys got their hands full all night long. Pace cars in, we're back green. Nathan gets another good jump.
Yeah, good start here by the leader. Usually is, unless somebody really times it well here. See the 18 making a move on the 069 here. Teammates letting him go. That's exactly what you should do. Fall in line, exit off of 2. You don't want to be side by side. I venture to say the exit of 2 at Rockingham, it's kind of like the corners at Dover. Very treacherous to be beside somebody, because if they lose the rear like we just saw, because somebody's going to door you and then cause a massive pile up here. And the track, with the amount of banking it has, the cars kind of just hang out on the track right in front of you.
Man on the move, Mark Stevens. Remember, he got caught up earlier on in a wreck, got caught up there. And went into pit road, but he's actually moved back up. He's up to 6 now, trying to work over back into Joshua. One of the other cars back there looks like Lucas. Remember we talked about him earlier on? He's actually back up here too, about 8th place spot.
Yeah, right at 53 looks like he's really getting after it. Got a bit of a roadblock in front of him right here with the 14. Almost 3 wide. Good idea to back out right there. That was going to be terrible. So, back behind the 1447, he wants him to sort this out as quick as.
Yeah, it does. Mark's on a move right now and almost got to the back end of the 14 there. He's almost shoved that nose on that inside. So he's, is it safe to say, maybe driving a little chip on his shoulder right now? Like he's driving that car a little hard.
I think he's got a whole daggone box of Pringles on him right now.
Tell him to pass some up here.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, his lap time, he ran a 23.89 that lap. The guy in front, Joshua Mertz, ran a 23.61. So we see how hard Mark Stevenson is driving this car right now. He needs to just settle in. He's in the top 5 now. Just chill out a bit and don't burn your stuff up. He's got the freshest set of tires here, but he's being outran lap time wise by some of these guys in front of him.
And I think, we haven't really talked to maybe track position, like you said, been out in, clean air like Nathan is out front there, because Nathan does have a little bit of that damage. I'm watching this slew of cars back here with Lucas and them. Look at this. It's a nose-to-tail brake train that they got going on for about 6th, 7th on back.
Yeah, and all these guys, they're just waiting to see if somebody slips up here a little bit. Definitely, I think these guys are doing a great job being patient, though. You don't see anything crazy going on here. Somebody's faster, they've been letting them go. You have to turn laps. That's the thing. You've got to be patient, especially in a really long race like this. I mean, we're 79 laps into a 393-lap race. There's no sense in just driving over your head and pushing really hard when you still have such a long way to go and several more stops to make. You can run a long way on fuel at this track, but you can't on tires.
And I think that, and we haven't really seen a lot of, even with the cautions come out, it's not guys just overdriving. And it's just a product of what we've seen all night long with the track and, being side by side. But you can see, well, these boys definitely side by side back here with Lucas and company. And you can see the cars dancing around. And 3 wide now, I don't want to advise that.
No, the 42 makes a move up on the 45 here. 47 got major loose coming off of 2 and was still fighting it all the way down the backstretch. Put it in the wall. The 42 had to lift. Now puts itself behind the 45 going into 1. Across these bumps, and you see these guys, the further we get off into this run, they're really fighting the car and they're having to run that.
Yeah, I always like using that term, an evil loose out here. You can already see these cars being definitely evil. And the rear ends, they are bouncing all over the place, just kind of sliding all over the place. Right now, like I said, the number 42 machine there, David, trying to hang on to it. And again, take it back to these guys. A lot of these guys are more familiar with road racing. So maybe they're having a little bit of fun out here. They're like, hey, look, these oval guys, they can get out here and kind of beat on the fenders. We can't do too much of that in the roadside. Out here having fun.
Yeah, I tell you, I got to give a call to the 08 of Gary Nichols right now. Running really good lap times. Just ran a 23.85. Ran a 75 a lap before that. Keeping up with the guys in front of him. Mark Stevenson ran a 23.84. But Gary Nichols, came from the back. I think he was outside the top 10 and has worked his way up to 6th right now. And came through that whole group of guys we were just talking about and is pulling away from him.
Yes, he is. Actually looking very good up to 6th place like you see there. As Mark Stevenson, I'm going to tell you, that guy's on a mission to watch out for him there. He's already up to 3rd.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'll take the credit if he's listening. But, I said you need to settle down. It's because you do need to settle down. At this track, overdriving is not going to do anything for you. We saw it when he was overdriving and really driving with a lot of heat. He was getting beat lap time wise. If you can slow yourself down, chill out, hit your marks, you've got fresher tires, you're going to be faster. You just have to make yourself understand that and just drive the track and not the guys in front of you.
Well, Joshua Allen right now is running down the leader. He's running times there with the leader, Nathan. I'm actually looking at Mark. I mean, Mark is actually a lot faster than the 2 guys up front there. So Nathan's going to have his hands full. Yeah, I see that. It's locked. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to say he's going to be up there, probably the next 5 to 10 laps.
Well, possibly, but now Nathan, the leader, just cranked off a 23.68. So he went from running 24s back to that. So Nathan may be doing a calculated maneuver here where he runs a couple laps, kind of easy through the middle. Then he pulls another good lap out of the hat here. Ran a 23.76 that lap coming across the line. So maybe trying to figure it out here. And he knows that Mark Stevenson is coming. Mark ran a 23.73. So the lap times are actually starting to even out here. So Mark coming down pit road, it didn't look like he got any damage fixed. He just got fresh tires. So the only thing he accomplished was knowing that he's fast with new tires that can get through traffic, because he came in, I think he was 2nd or 3rd place anyway. Now he's sitting in 3rd place now.
Well, I also want to give a shout out here to tonight, as along with the Major Series here for the sportsmen that we got. They always do to a charity event, and tonight the charity that has been chosen is called the Challenge Athletics Foundation. Now, definitely check them out at challengeathletics.org. Go to the website and check that out. That is the actual foundation and the fundraiser that they're doing, the charity that they give to here for some of the majors, and they do that for every race. They always have a charity that they give to and sponsor out. So something else here for the Major Series that that is so fun and so great that they do with all these drivers. But great racing so far here on the track. I mean, I enjoy it so far.
Yeah, great racing. And I mean, I enjoy seeing people race with drive and passion like we're seeing out of Mark Stevenson. Got moved and been out of shape there when he was in the lead. I like when a guy's driving good and hard and pissed off, and that's nice when you've got a short ways to go. But in this situation, I want a guy to be calm, understand you've got a good car, let's not jack it up anymore, and be there at the end. And so he's got himself in 3rd position. He just needs to crank off good lap times here, not let these guys get too far ahead of him. They're going to have to come in several more times for tires. Just make sure that you've got yourself in position, and he's done that and proven that he can get through traffic and that he can be super fast. And, maybe that's what he wanted, was to challenge himself a little bit and say, how fast can I be? And he went out and made it happen. Maybe on that pit stop, we don't know, made some adjustments here. So, but still doing a great job, got himself in good position. So I like what I see.
And you're right there, too. And obviously, I'll set him up to later on in the race to see how his car might do if he gets himself in a position where he has to run down anyone. So, great run there by Mark. Lucas, another guy that's been on the move. He's back in fourth place. You're right out there, Bucky. Lucas has actually been running very well tonight. He was marred outside the top 10, but found himself up the fourth, and slowly but surely he's going to run to the front here. Keep our eye on it because he's had some pretty consistent lap times.
Yeah, he's another car that I've been keeping my eye on as far as the line that he's been able to run. Looks like he's getting across the bumps, everything, no problem. Car looks good. Nothing been out of shape. He's able to get through here. I mean, look at him getting through 1 and 2 right here. Just going right down, bottom, middle right here in 1 and 2. Looks good coming off. So doing a great job, doing exactly what he needs to be doing to make sure that he's, in position here. And that's all you can do. At this point in the race, you're just cranking off laps and see what you can do. And so now the other thing that we've learned is if you mess up or you think getting tires is going to help and a lot of other people don't, look at what Mark Stevenson put himself in. Yes, he was fast. Yes, he cranked off enormous lap times. Sure, he passed a lot of cars. But what else did he do? He wore his tires flat out because the first and second place drivers are turning faster lap times than he is, and they're on older tires.
Yeah, I tell you what, and it's real easy to do at a track like this to tear your tires up. I mean, and to run them down. But well, I tell you what, talking about Lucas, he's run down Mark Stevenson. He's going to go for the
Lucas
pass.
been turning good times himself here. They're still side by side coming down the front. Going to make the pass on him here. Going into one, the 53 is just going to fall in line behind him, and that's all he needs to do. Just be patient here. I think Mark kind of gets the idea now that he's used the stuff up trying to get through traffic. But now he knows what his car can do. Now he knows exactly how to do things. If we come to the end of this race and he's sitting there and there's a question of whether or not to pit, how many people pit, how many people don't, where do you want to be? So now he knows exactly what he's got.
And this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about. Guys that have a good long-run car, some that might have a good short-run car. And from what I'm seeing, Lucas right now has a very good long-run car. The car looks pretty stable and clean going throughout the turns. Mark has a very good short-style run car where he can bring that thing through the field there. Kind of falls off just a little bit as the run goes on, but that's what we mean, folks, when we talk about, difference between a long run and a short run. But again, they can do a little bit of adjustments here and there. Throughout this is an open style setup, so there are some things they can do in pit road to maybe adjust on those cars and might help them, later on. But usually, once you set one up for that, there's not a lot you can change. You have to hope kind of the race will come to you. If it goes green for long periods of time, a guy like Lucas is really going to love it. We get a lot of cautions towards the end, and Mark's really going to love it.
And here's the thing that you need to pay attention to with the 45 of Lucas is how his car gets through 3 and 4. It's not down on the line, which isn't where you want to be. It's right a lane up, and the thing gets through there beautifully. It comes off. He's not losing the rear end. He's very patient with it. His lap times right now are fast. He's much faster than the second and first place. The 24:49 up front versus his 23:99.
Okay. I got a kick out of this nickname out here. Dan Davis. It says, guy on here says he's the Florida man. He lives in Florida.
The Florida man.
That's what it says. Well, I see it on my thing over here because he's got it on his driver. Probably don't see it on the iRacing. Dan Davis. He's back in 15th place spot. It says Florida man in the middle. It's got Dan, Florida man, Davis. Yeah, I mean, I'm safe to say he lives in Florida. There you go. He's actually running pretty good. He's batting 15th.
We just had a change for second position here. Lucas in the 45 makes the pass pretty easily over the 18 here. Now he's got his sights on the fender of this 6 car.
Wow.
Eating him up right here off of.
And whoa. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a good heads-up move by Nathan there. He almost shut the door on him, but now he's got Joshua on his inside. But, man, new leader, Lucas, he just came through the field. I mean, he just blew through the field right now, and he's walking away.
He is, but look at his lap times over the course of this run. They were very consistent. Not using his stuff up here. The 6, let's see what he does here. 18 doesn't give him the opportunity to run him low. Almost runs the 6 up just a little bit there. So 6 cost itself, trying to shut the door on him there and make it tight. And if he keeps coming down and chopping people like that, he's going to get spun out.
Well, and you're right. I mean, obviously, towards the end of the race, 20 laps, 10 laps to go, all bets off. You got to try to protect your position. Like we've said, and you've said, all race long. Long way to go. Got to pace yourself. Don't want to go out here and be too aggressive. I get it. As a racer, I mean, you're a racer, John. You don't want to give up the position. You especially if you think you got a very competitive car, and he does. I mean, Nathan does. And Greg, no caution, but go back on the replay and watch. Then maybe what happened is maybe got off the track or something here. The number 6 machine there, Greg. This replay right now.
I just got high coming off of 2 and got up in the wall.
Yep. And we were actually talking about, just got up on the wall and slams the inside wall there.
But and he's still sitting in the trail on the.
No caution.
No, it's not because he's below the yellow line.
That's
it. There wasn't anybody coming when he spun, and he's below this yellow line. And I don't know if he thinks they're going to throw it. He got it turned around, but he's still sitting there.
Well, I just saw a puff of smoke come from the car, so I think that thing's dead. Don't know why he's not towing it. There he goes for a tow.
There we go. Well, but I was also going to say, even though we're laughing because he's just sitting there, credit to him for doing the right thing. He did not go up on the track and force a caution. You could see as he was maneuvering the car, he kept it below the yellow line to get it pointed in the right direction. So good sportsmanship on his end.
And I hate that on it, been out of it there. Greg obviously was running, fairly good actually. Not, probably not the best night he would wanted, but obviously was running pretty good. Take it back again. We've been talking all night long. This place is not for the faint of heart. I mean, and this track is very, very treacherous on a lot of drivers. We've actually had a pretty good long green flag run here. And the more we get a long green flag run, the more you're going to see these tires start to wear out and these cars get awful slick. And yeah, John, basically in iRacing, if you're off the track enough, it will not throw the caution. Normally, now I've seen weirder stuff, and I know John has too up here in the booth with me. Normally that would have thrown a caution, even though he was below that yellow line, just by him spinning and hitting the wall. But for some reason, he was able to keep it down, and we're still racing.
Well, here's the thing. On iRacing, had that been a white line instead of yellow, it would have triggered a caution. If you notice the tracks that just have white lines around the bottom, most of the time there are cautions that come out. If it's a yellow line and the car's down out of the way, it will not trigger one. So it's something in the programming that they've done. Because I was in a race the other night, and it was a white line, and the car just got sideways and got down, and it threw a caution.
Oh, okay. That's interesting there, because like I said, and I've seen some weird stuff in the past. I mean, I know you have too, so. And it looks like we got pit stops. Nathan is actually on pit road. I think these are scheduled stops here.
Yeah, and they definitely can be. You can go so far here on fuel, but you just can't on tires. So the question is how long of a run do you want to have on your set of tires? And obviously, the longer you stay out, the better off you can be. But you don't want to lose too much time to these guys. But if you stay green and stick to your strategy and you're up front, you're going to be fine. And I got to tell you, I like what I see out of the 45 car right now, and the speed that he has, even on tires that are worn out. But now that the 6 is pitted, is that going to put him in a box where he's going to have to pit pretty soon?
Yeah, Lucas is definitely putting down some good lap times out there on that set of tires. 100% sure when he is, but pit stops being done here under green flag. I mean, pit road is definitely a busy place. How long do you stay out if you're Lucas?
If I'm in the 45 and I'm turning the laps that I'm turning right now, I mean, he could continue to stay out. The question is, how much time does the 6 make up? He's showing us 2 laps down right now. So the other thing is this: if you're in the lead, do you want to stay out as long as you possibly can? And maybe a caution comes out. Now you've got half the field trapped, a lap or 2 down. So that's going to play into his favor. So if he can stay out here and he does happen to catch a caution, but no, he's looks like he's coming down now. So
never mind, throw it out the window.
Yeah, all the what ifs and all the stupid crap.
Yeah,
I was
do
getting
like
ready to
what
say.
he's got on the hood of that car. You notice what he's got on the hood?
It says Joe's. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously in this situation, smart move on his part to go on and come to pit road, because those guys that are up front are going to crank off some amazing laps for the next 20 laps. They're going to eat into that lead that you got here. So you don't want to give up too much time staying out. If you don't catch a caution in several laps of staying out, smart on his part to go on and come in.
And the likelihood of the caution coming out with a lot of guys coming in with new tires, not saying it can't, because again, we've seen it at this track. I mean, this place is notorious for it. I mean, it's still treacherous whether you've got good tires or bad tires. But maybe he was starting to think, okay, most of the field had just came in. It's better off for me to go in. Like you said, don't want to give up too much time here on a lot of them. Looks like he did come back out. He's going to come back out in front of Nathan there. So Nathan able to run him down. Kind of curious what that Joe's is. Is that a restaurant?
I have no idea.
Well, it's my name either way, so he's got a good paint job.
It could be. Huh?
I don't know. I just saw it. I had to give it out. I mean, we're having fun up here, folks. Hope everybody enjoying it so far. I mean, like I say, it's a long race, and I definitely got to give a shout out to Mike here, who runs the majors and sets a lot of this up. I know he has a lot of other guys in the background there with him that puts on these series, because not just the race that we're running tonight here. John, and I know there's several other races going on. They have many other splits. And obviously there are 3 other broadcasts going on for the top main split, but there's many other splits that are happening here. So they put those on, and it's just an exceptional organization that they do here at the major. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Mike for letting us do it. And he just says, hey, look, Joe, you and John, y'all get up there, y'all have fun, long race, man, interact. We got people talking about the drivers and what we're seeing on the track. Some good racing happening too, but hey, we definitely gotta have fun with the sponsors and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, we're at least mediocre. So we're okay.
You don't have
but
any,
to answer your question,
what's that? Go ahead.
To answer your question about the 45, Joe's is a pizza joint.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? Is it New York?
I don't know.
No, they said Midwest. Well, the reason I brought that up is because I saw somebody on Facebook today said that they had just checked into Joe's New York Pizza. And so, since you said pizza place, but he is saying he's from the Midwest, so that would be out Midwest. Might be same chain. It could be nationwide. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's kind of cool there. So, you don't have any interesting Rockingham stories to tell anybody?
Honestly, I've never been to Rockingham in my entire life. I never got to go to a race there. And the only time I've ever been near it is when I'm driving through that area to go to the beach. So,
What's up, Don? How you doing out there? Well, I mean, yeah, you do go through Rockingham to go out towards the beach. I said to go straight to Myrtle Beach or either way there. So, like I say, it's about 2.5 hours from where we are. Actually, Concord would be the closest track to where I'm at. Concord's only about 45 minutes from where I'm sit at here. So, kind of in between the two style tracks here at Rockingham. Very, it's been around for a long, long time. The drag strip across the street's still running. And again, we talked about earlier whether or not they run any official races. I don't know. You have to go to the website. I'm not sure if they do, but you know, there's something up front here. Harold is still the leader of this race. And actually, Matt is leading it right now. So Nathan and Lucas are not leading. I think these pit stops is kind of got things been shaking up a little bit.
And Matt stayed out here. He's running 24 fives. So when he does pit, it'll come around to Lucas and Nathan being up front here. But Matt's lap times are off from what those guys are running, obviously. So
yeah.
But right
I was
now,
curious when he made his pit stop at Matt Pearson.
Well, he was involved with that last incident that happened. And so he had to come to pit road anyway, and I think he used his fast fix because his car is clean. So he's not on bad tires, but he also has the entire field trapped a lap or more down.
Well, if a caution came, he'd be sitting in some good way right now, and I think that's why he's staying out. And Dom, just out there, man, just real quick. Yeah, unfortunately, Tim passed away last year. A lot of health problems. And we always keep, man, good old Tim, man, and our thoughts and prayers. And I've always said, I'll definitely immortalize him on the channel here because, hey, I miss him a lot. So, and he enjoyed these kind of races. He enjoyed this stuff here. So, I know he's enjoying the sitting down watching the race here tonight. But you're right, Matt. If he got a caution at this point, seems like a couple cars might get one of their laps back here, but I'll tell you what, if a caution flew right now, man, that would be disastrous for a lot of guys.
Yeah,
but it would still be early, though.
We got 11 cars right now trapped a lap down, so one would get a wave around. Everybody else would get waved around once Matt pitted. But right now, these guys are driving pretty hard. Matt turned to 25-1. That last lap versus, the 6 car, a 23.85.
Yeah. I'll tell you, and you just saw right there Lucas come around and get back on the lead lap was the first one. So he's a clear lap back to try to. So, I mean, Matt does have a little bit of time, and actually, this might not be that bad because by the time Lucas makes it all the way around, it's going to be close to another pit stop here, so it might work out to the favor here a little bit for Matt.
It's going to depend on how much time he's losing, but the thing that I like about what the 45 of Lucas, what he's doing, he's going and gotten his lap back, but he's not tearing his tires up. His lap times are 24 2s and 3s when he could be in the 23 8s and 9s. He's not overdoing it right here, so he's still taking care of his stuff. I think the 45 is the one that's really in a great position.
Well, you got Nathan right there behind him, who's actually running in the third place spot right now, just went around and got back on the lead lap. Talking about lap times, now Lucas runs a little 24-1, 3-4 there to Nathan's 24-1-9. That's what you say. Nathan actually ran about a 23, so he kind of slowed down just a little bit, but I think these guys now are being.
When Nathan came out, I was watching Nathan's lap times in the 6 car, and he was letting it hang out, buddy. I mean, he let the thing eat, and his lap times were unbelievable. And when the 45 went out, he did not. He took it very nice and slow, took it easy, taking better care of his stuff here. So that's why you see the little bit of a fall off here between the 45 and the 6, I think. And that's why I think the 45 is in a better position. I know Matt's leading, and if a caution were to come out, in the next 10, 15 laps, that'd be great for him, and this strategy is going to pay off. But if they stay green, then I think it's going to put Matt further behind.
Right now, you see Lucas is about 21 seconds back. Would have put him maybe right around 3/4 of a track here. I mean, you can see, obviously, Lucas is going to, eat into that time a lot, lap after lap, because he's way much faster than what Matt is up there. So Lucas right now sitting in the place spot. He's got Nathan right there along with him. We've got 6 machines now on the lead lap. Obviously, it would be devastating if a caution came out to a lot of drivers out there. But again, that's what green flag pit stops does. 1, it splits the field up. 2, it puts guys in, different style strategies, so to speak. If you're a driver right now, say you're sitting in about 12th place or so, you're lap down, what do you do? I mean, what kind of strategy do you do to get back on the lead lap?
Well, for anybody that's in that position, it's going to depend on what this 45 car does, because he took care of his stuff. Now he's going after his lap times. He just turned to 23.8, now just turned 23.9, so he's a couple of tenths faster than he has been. And the reason he's doing that is he wants to eat in to this lead that Matt has over him now. So when Matt pits, he's going to be closer, which means Matt's going to be further behind. If he were to just sit here and chill out and let Matt maintain this massive gap, that's only going to help Matt. So now the 45 realizes, I've got to close up this gap so I can come out ahead of this guy.
Okay, there you go. And well, we're watching right now the first car lap down, Daniel Johnson right there. He's trying to get around the leader. Looked on the inside for a moment, thought better of it. Now, so you got the 069 versus the 69. Well, he's going to get his lap back.
Yeah, I mean, you could see when you're looking at the gaps here, I mean, they're just eating into it. The more Matt stays out, right now I think he's got about a 17.2 gap, but every lap that goes, they're just gnawing away at it here. And they'll continue to do so as long as he stays out. What he's really doing now is, I mean, he's kind of made his bed. He's got to lay in it. He's hoping for a caution.
Yeah, and you're right. Right now, it's been caution-free, knock on wood. Had a couple of them earlier on. But we're at lap 149 here of 393. And in the books, Rockingham 400 here tonight. Done an outstanding job so far here. So I think they have anyway. It's been a good one.
Yeah, I mean, such a difficult track. It's extremely hard to race on, and you've got to do 300 and some laps here. Just doing a regular race, 100 and some laps around here is tiring, physically and mentally and all that. But these guys are doing a great job. I think right now we've only got maybe 2 cars out of the race, and those were just freak accidents, things that happen. So. But I like the different strategies here, and that's the thing about, like we were talking about, you can go so far on fuel, but you can't do that on tires. You just can't. The tires are going to fall off terribly. You were not going to be able to get back to the throttle. So everybody's got a different strategy. But see, now you see this gap that Lucas and Nathan and Josh were eating into, just killing the gap that Matt has over.
You mentioned about the physicality of this track and the drivers. No, this is not in the real world, but I've always said iRacing.com is the realest thing you can get without spending millions of dollars to go real racing. And we've talked about difference in equipment and difference in what a lot of these guys have, and a lot of these virtual reality, which I know you mentioned earlier. I know you have one, like an Oculus Rift, a VR setup. Imagine being here for the 3.5 hours or so, and you have to actually have that, or difference between direct drive wheels and a belt-driven style wheel, and what kind of force feedback do you have? I mean, to be able to muscle these cars around and then keep the concentration, I hats off to a lot of these guys.
I mean, to do it, I use the VR. I've got the new Rift, and I've got AccuForce Direct Drive and all this stuff, and I got great Ricmatech real gear pedals and all that stuff. So it's exhausting just doing it here, in my house, air conditioned, got fans on me and all that good stuff. So it makes you have a much better appreciation for what these guys do in real life. And even if you go back through the history of the sport when there was less, harnesses, less things helping hold the driver in, nothing holding their head up. And you'd go back in the old days to see those guys fighting to keep their head up straight so they could see, fighting the G's and the banking and all that stuff. Just imagine how tiring it is to do that in real life.
Well, we're watching a replay right here because we got a car around, no caution, but that's actually Jason. Happened in the back. He was able to keep going, but looks like the machine in front of him there, can't get the number, actually lost it. And Jason nowhere to go. The 119 actually just kind of tagged him in the rear, lost it at the top side wall, but was able to keep going, so no caution came out there. He's on pit road.
That's just a tough break there. Looks like the car in front of him maybe lost the back end of it. Yeah, he lost it. That's the 58 again. Having trouble down in 1 and 2 again here. So just wrong place at the wrong time.
And we're probably at the point now that we're going to see that these guys are just going to start, kind of losing the back end. And we're talking about Matt there. Matt must have made his pit stop, or he made his pit stop because he's lap down now. But that's still not a bad call, and it doesn't look right. We're under caution.
We are under caution. I'm trying to find it.
Harold. Going Harold on Harold Garner went off track, came back up, so let's go back on him and see.
'93.
093, yeah. Watching a replay on him right now. What exactly happened to him right here? Yeah, just that car just came out from under him and spun down the front stretch, down in the grass. And again, we were talking earlier.
And he had just come off of pit road.
Wow. What's strange is, though, and I know we were talking about it earlier, he was
wiped through the caution.
Wiped through the caution. Now, and I know somebody out there's probably going to say that. Well, why in the world would that throw a caution? The other ones didn't, and they were on the track. That's iRacing.
Because he's sideways and spinning tires on the track surface.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, there was another car coming. He's above the yellow line when he's sideways and in front of traffic, and that. But
I
here
think
you go. This worked out perfect. This worked out really great for Lucas. Not so great if you're Matt in the 69. We'll wait and see the timing and scoring loop as they come around. But Lucas made his lap up. The 69 had to come to pit road. He's the leader. Now he gets to come in and put fresh tires on it. The 69 may be trapped a lap down here.
He was trapped a lap down, so he's either gonna have to make a decision, and it looks like well, we'll see what his decision is next time around. Whether does he come in and try to hope for another caution, or is he going to go for the waiver round here? I mean, he just made that pit stop, so he could.
All right, he's
for the
back
waiver.
On the lead lap.
He's
back on the lead. Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure.
Well, is he on the lead lap, or is it just showing him on the tail end of the lead? and he's going to give around.
He's on the tail end. He went from being a lap down to now he's back on the tail end of the lead lap.
So does that mean he's going to get the wave around?
Everybody that was a lap down got the wave around. There's no car single lap down. It begins with the 235 the 333 of Daniel Davis, 2 laps down.
Well, I tell you what, got a lot of Lucas fans out there tonight. I tell you, man's got a fan club.
He's done a terrific job. I've been really impressed as I've watched since the beginning how, his car's gotten around the track here, watching his lap times, how he took care of things.
Now, Matt just took the wave around, so I think he was still a lap down, and he opted to do the wave around.
Right. Well, on iRacing on their scoring,
he's going to be on the tail end of the. He's going to be on the tail end.
Right. Right. On iRacing scoring, it'll go ahead if he stays out and show that he's going to get it, so he's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap. So.
Yeah. Well, he just went around the pace car. That's what I was saying to catch up to the tail end, so that to go back. Not going to be too far off though. Because we still got a slew of machines. We got 10 cars on the lead lap. And that was due. Hi, Liz. We're getting set to go back greens. Pace car's in. We're back green, and that's going to put Lucas out front. Good jump by him. But a lot of that was due to earlier when the green flag stopped. Caught a lot of drivers a lap down.
It did. Matt stayed out, kind of put everybody in a box there. If they were to catch a caution and it would have played out in his favor, he'd still be up front right now. But now he's got a fresh car. Matt's in the back. His car's still in one piece, so he's got to keep it together and see if he can make his way up through here. But we got some really fast cars up front here as we got a battle. 53 looked like he took a peek on the inside. Wasn't able to get by the 45 here. But the 45 showing some really good speed here at the start here. Short run speed if he needs it. He'll reach into that bag and pull out some good laps.
Oh, Lucas almost lost it there, though. Wow, good save. Did you just see that right there? That car just jumped. I think he was pushing the envelope because he saw, Mark back there on his bumper. And sometimes, we don't talk too much about that, but you can get a little bit, window driving and, miss your turn.
And you can, and we're talking about the new tire model that iRacing came out with, and that's all about this tire is more true to life of you've got to let these tires come up to temperature, and get grip in them. And unless you make an air pressure adjustment to help give you better grip. But when you're talking about a hot, slick track, it's still hot out here. It's still 112 degrees, so it's come down about 10 or 11 degrees from the start of the race. But that's still very hot. And coming off of 4, the back end is light. It's going to get loose with you, so just pushed it a little too much right there.
He did. That was a very good save there as Lucas falls back to the 4th place and trying to gather it back up. David Dow's the man taking up the top spot here. Mark. And he got that 6 machine right there behind it. Remember earlier on, those two got together. We'll have to see what happens at this point. But boy, I tell you what, that 53, man, Mark, he's like shark out there. He smells blood in the water. He wants that lead back.
Yeah, looks like he's going to get it here. He's got the position. Take it off a 2 here. 23.52. So, yeah, he's really getting after it there. 23.6 behind him. Nathan had a 49. So, really close lap times here. But the 53, as we saw the last time he went and got tires, really going after it. But now, Lucas in the 45 is going to have to manage his tire wear a little bit here. See if he can still come and get these guys towards the end of the run.
What does a spin like that do with the new tire model? Have you really had a kind of a way to kind of test that, or Nathan's
and the 6
around.
Gets loose on 4.
Are you serious? I mean, almost the same exact way that Lucas did, and folks, don't ask me. We're still under green, and he spun in the same place the other car did. Maybe the flagman tonight's kind of just eating a bologna sandwich or something.
Well, here's the other thing. When you're talking of it, he kind of did it in an area where you're going to go to pit road.
Yeah.
So it may have thought, hey, this is just a car going to pit road, and it doesn't know that he's coming in hot.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, but a tremendous save there by his. I mean, 2 good saves we've seen already, but we've seen this all night long. We would think, and everybody would think, well, they're on new tires. Why are they sliding like that? Actually, these cars look like they're more slippery and a little bit more evil handling on new tires than they are on older tires.
Well, and you're putting more rubber down over the run, and that's the other thing about the iRacing service that makes it true to life is the rubber actually does get put down on the track. You don't want to run where the rubber is. It does make the track slick. And then the other thing is the track is 10 degrees cooler now, so you have to make adjustments throughout the race just like you do in real life. You're not going to have the same setup underneath you. You're not going to have the same tire pressures and all that from the beginning to the end. You've got to make changes to keep up with the track conditions.
And that was one of the big things that we talked with the tire model they got. Here's a battle for the lead. That 42, David, he's looking to the outside. Here comes Lucas back to the inside. But that was one of the major things with the new tire model is you can feel those tire pressures and the feeling of the tires there. So it's a lot more realistic as we got a 3-car battle back up front here.
Yeah, we do. And I feel like really putting the pressure the 42 is on the 53 here, making them both use their stuff up. So the best thing the 45 can do is just what he's been doing and just be patient and don't push it, because now he sees when I do push it, look at what happens, especially on the short run. I think Lucas has been the fastest car over the long run of everybody else here, but he needs to be careful and not get himself wrapped up in their battle up front.
And that's what I was about to ask you there. He's just sitting back there right now. Now he looks to the inside there. David is maybe trying to take it. As David goes up the track. You're going to be able to make that pass. Man, that car just looks like it's awful loose coming out. But, yeah, at this point, do you just sit back there and kind of ride? At least going to take second place.
He definitely is, but see, they're side by side, allowed that 53 to get a bit of a gap right there, but it's a good thing that Lucas went on and cleaned it up, took the position, because the more time you waste being stuck underneath the guy, the more you're using your stuff up as well. So 45 put up a fight with the 53. He was putting up a fight with the 45 on the outside, or the 42. I mean, it's being on the outside of the 45. So 42 is using this stuff up as well, fighting both of those guys. So smart move by both of them to just get it over with so they can still have some tire here. Now the 45 starting to close that gap up on the 53.
Yes, he is. Lucas, man, trying to run down the main man up our Mark. And I like LX out there says conspiracy. Yeah, maybe flag man, and they're having a conspiracy theory going on. But battle for the lead is that 45 machine there. Lucas, remember earlier, he about lost that thing. It just violently came out from up underneath him. You're going to be able to take this top spot from Mark. Mark's not going to give it to him, boy. He slams the front door.
Really sharp left turn by the 53 there to shut the door, but he was 2/10 slower than the 45. Let's see what they turn this time. 45 is going to be on the inside. Moves up and door bangs.
Wow. He just ran that car into the turn and just slammed him up into the wall. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. I mean, he just drove it in, and obviously he just overdrove the turn and drove that thing. He just sent it.
He definitely overdrove the turn, but maybe that was his way of saying, I don't appreciate what you did to me back there in turn 3, chopping my nose.
Yeah, just don't want to tear that car up, because obviously he's going to get some side damage on it. Gonna mess that machine up. But man, Mark, wow, went up into the wall a little hard there. We'll have to see. Now he's got damage on both sides there. But Lucas takes the top spot again here. Now will be the question, did he hurt the car? Because David has been able to stay right there.
I mean, you definitely can, especially when you're leading with the right front going up a track like that. You're going to knock a toe in on it. So you can hurt the car. The thing is, you can get some work done to it. You can use a fast fix at the end of the race if he's still got one in his back pocket. But definitely just came in there pretty hot, but it may have been a little hot under the collar. Anyway, he was 2/10 faster the lap where the 53 cut his nose off going into 3. Then he was 1/10 faster, so you're faster than a guy. Be a little bit more patient to make that pass, but it's really hard to do when guys are chopping you off and being aggressive. And we've seen the 53 be aggressive the whole race since the 6 moved him.
And here's the thing. A driver right there. You see David, boy, he's driving that thing all over the place, trying to chase him down. But you see a driver out there, and I've mentioned this many a time. If you know a driver is very aggressive, and I'm not going to take anything away from Mark Stevenson out there, because he's actually run through the field quite well and been able to bring that car up through there. That's just his driving style, and that's just the way it is. And if you know that as a driver, you've got to be able to be prepared to race around a driver like that. And like I said, Lucas right there, he just drove that thing in hard. And this is a track where it's not very forgiving when you drive into a turn like that.
No, and I applaud what he was trying to do. Lucas said, all right, I'm going to go after it right here, and I'm going to get him. Problem is, that was the wrong turn to try to do that in, because when you're going to drive in hard, I don't care who you are or what you do, you're going across those bumps, the car's going to drift up the track. And it's just a product of the track right there. I don't think Lucas went with bad intentions, really trying to get into him and take the wall down. Maybe want to send a little message and door bang him a little bit, but drove it in really hard over those bumps, and he hit him right in the spot where the bumps are the worst. So it's going to definitely make the car go up the track.
And here's two things that Lucas has already been. Remember earlier on, he lost that car and he slid. Now, sending it in there like he did, slid it again, he's got damage. So that is twice that he has actually really abused those tires. And I think we're seeing it right now. David behind him is just chewing on the back bumper. I believe if David ever gets around him, he'll walk away from him. But you got to know here, John, I mean, those tires have taken a beating early on in this run. How much more can they take?
As long as he's settled down, which, he's done. He's turned pretty consistent laps here. He's 709, 66, and 68. Just keep turning those type of lap times. Now, they're not quite as terrific as what he had the last run, before the pit stop, but maybe he's having a little bit of issue with the right front from that contact. I don't know. But same thing, he could just be trying to take care of his stuff here. As you said, we've seen him spin them up, and then the contact there. So we'll see. But the 42 just hasn't gone away. He's staying within a car length of him. So 42 is doing what he needs to do, and he's also seen what happens in front of him. So maybe he's fine with running second right now, being patient.
And you talk about that too. David's going to keep Lucas up there honest, because as long as he stays right there on his bumper, Lucas is not going to be able to feel very comfortable out there. And like we see right there, now he's looking to the inside. That's definitely not going to make him feel comfortable. I think he's just going to let him go.
He definitely lets him go, but he crosses him back over right here.
Oh, is he going to send it in a turn?
Inside.
He thought better of it. Wow.
Yeah, and yet you're not going to be able to do anything with such a shallow injury into 3 right there. And I know guys keep looking, and everybody thinks, well, if I get my nose there, then I'm there. No, buddy, you're not there. You're not there until you're at my door. So.
Yeah, true. The only thing you might be there is trying to spin the guy out in front of you. Definitely, I don't think any of these drivers want that. But I think at this point, Lucas probably sees that, David up there was a lot faster. And like I said, once he got around him, he's going to go. I think at this point, now would be the time, like what you was talking about, settle down. We got a little bit ways to go here before we pit. I've abused these tires a little bit here. My car's a little damaged now. Obviously, he still has that fast fix in the back of his pocket. He could use that later on. Maybe if a caution comes out, maybe just get a little bit optional damage done there and use the thing later on in the race. But I think at this point, now it's tire management, I think is what he's got to do.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you just got to keep yourself in position here. Keep the car up underneath you. That's the main thing, is if you lose a little bit of time, then you do. And you have to learn from that. And don't go out again like we saw him do a couple laps on fresh tires and get the thing sideways again. The other thing that I wanted to point out was when we saw him, let the 42 car go by. Did you see how high up the track he went in 1 and 2 to give him the room to let him by? I think that shows, like, I think he meant to rattle the 53's cage, but I don't think he meant to completely clean him out.
No.
And going across those bumps woke him up, and that's why when he let that car go, he went so high up into 1 and 2 to give him the room.
And again, we've talked about that, the bumps here at this track. They are unforgiving, but they also, you just don't know. They just kind of snap out there and can make your car just all of a sudden, boom, come out from under you. We've seen it all night long. And like what you just mentioned right there, yeah, I think it's just he underestimated it. Went in there. I mean, yeah, he sent it in there hard, but I think those bumps just kind of just jumped out there, threw that car up there. And you're kind of at the mercy of the car and the track at that point. But he's got a fan club, I'll give him, man, Lucas. And I think all their hearts out there about hit the floor when he went and spun earlier.
Yeah, I think so. But I tell you, the guy that's really been paid off here is the 42 with David Garrett. Was that Garrett? I had it a minute ago.
Gargano.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I totally had it, and then I came to say it.
I know. Gargaro.
There we go. Gargaro. I'm sorry. We'll get it together in a minute.
We'll figure it out. Somebody's going to correct us on that one. And folks, hey, look, we're trying on some of the names. I'll say I'm trying on some of the names. John, he's an educated guy.
Am I?
Hey, man. He always throwing the knowledge out there at me.
I mean, I know I've had a couple concussions and all that, but I totally had his name right. And then I was like, I'm going to say something now. And then you push the button, and all of a sudden the hamster on the wheel just stops.
Now,
in your mind, you're like, I totally lost.
What's not going to sound good is you've had a couple concussions, and I've had brain surgery. Now, hold on a minute.
Yeah, well, we both got messed up heads. So.
So bear with us, folks. There we go. But it's been a good race so far. And I'm going to tell you what, another guy, earlier on was talking about him there, the 53, and I think now that damage is catching up to the car and the setup. He's just falling further and further back there. He's back in ninth. He's Matt actually tracking up into the top 10. He's up in the 8th right now.
And I think Mark's got a fast fix in his back pocket here. So he's doing what he can to just, maintain here, get through this run, get to pit road, go ahead and use the fast fix if he's got it. And I think he does, since I've watched him when he had damage. He never did anything with it. So I think he's got it. And now obviously will be the time that he's going to have to use it, but he's having to wait till his schedule stops to do so. But that's putting him further and further behind the more laps they turn out here.
Yeah, he would be one that probably would hope for a caution. I mean, it'd be nice to see the thing go green all the way. But, yeah, hey, what's up, Tom? How you doing out there? Well, hey, OSR Network on YouTube, Facebook, check us out there. Definitely, I only do 3 days a week now, as I used to do 7 days a week. The Majors Series here with the Sportsman is kind of something special. Normally on Sunday nights, I would be doing the ISRA. But like I said, I told those guys before, every so often, a couple nights in a month, I would be doing the Major Series here for the Sportsman Series, and I appreciate these guys allowing us to do it. But yeah, check us out there, OSR Network on YouTube. Again, I used to do 7 days a week. John knows that. Done many leagues that he raced in there, and I just kind of steadied it back, health things, and I just want to. I still enjoy the broadcast stuff, but I really feel like I stepped it back because I wanted to put more focus on the leagues that I did have, and it kind of works out pretty good.
Well, you can get burned out, and you can get burned out racing too much too.
Everybody talking about burned out, and I don't know if it's so much it was burned out. It was just
the reason you don't like the word is because you're a little bit older, and your generation being a burnout means something totally different.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Wow.
It means something different. Slow.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you do? I mean, it's like I was racing like 4 or 5 days a week, and I, took a break there for a while, and you were doing this 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day,
Oh yeah,
seven
yeah.
days a week. So man, it gets a little exhausting. So you got to take a little break, but then you do
Yeah,
interesting things and be a part of something like this here at the majors, and it's really cool. We like what they've got going on, and like we were talking about earlier, they got a place for everybody here, and you
they
get to see
do.
guys from all different types of racing, different racing disciplines. We've seen road course racing, we've seen cup cars, now we got K&N cars. We're going to see dirt, sprint cars that I'm really looking forward to. So a little bit of
Yeah,
everything here. So it keeps it interesting, keeps it fresh, even for the drivers. It keeps them interested, in coming and doing all the races because it's something different every race.
and I like that what you just mentioned right there, because I mean, if you go on the PacificMajors.com, check out the website. They got the schedule there for throughout the year. And what John just mentioned there is none of these races are the same. Coming up next, just to give you an actual idea, March the 22nd, we'll have a race at the Neverlands. It's actually, well, they call it the Race of the Neverlands, but it's actually, I hope I pronounce it right, Circuit Vanderwall. I hope I said that right, but either way, it's going to be.
I was hoping. I was hoping you were saying Netherlands right, not Neverland.
Well, what did I say?
Sounded like you were saying Neverland.
I probably did. I probably did. The Netherlands. I mean, yeah. I
You're thinking about Michael Jackson's.
Yeah, Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands. That's
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Okay. See, sometimes my southern accent gets in my way, but they'll be racing the Audi car. One of the. So it's kind of cool. It's a different style car there. But after that, we go back to some oval racing again, as we'll have. They'll be at the Charlotte Roval with the Gen 6, and then they actually will run the World 600 race, which is basically the Coca-Cola style race that they run in real life at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we'll go to tracks like Le Mans. They've got Spa going to be around. Obviously, he mentioned the dirt track there in Knoxville. We got even the Silver Crown cars are going to be running. So something for everyone. These drivers, like they said, love it. And right now, boy, I'll tell you what, watching on the track, these guys are about to go 3 wide up here. Oh, 17's in the wall too. And I hope I said that right. Zandervoort. I think I said it right.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. It's just the
Close enough.
Neverland thing that caught me off guard. So.
All right, I'm sorry. But hey, look, my slogan here at OSR Network is "You're home for fun and exciting sim racing." It's never a dull moment. We got to make it fun, make it exciting up here. I'm no NBC and I'm no Fox. But hey, if you want to see more style like that, there are 3 other broadcasts going on. Check them out. The Majors Series, they do run their pro split. This is the Sportsman split, and these guys are doing an outstanding job as David's still leading it out front. But if you want to check out what's going on with the pro style split here in the Majors, check out these guys over at GSRC on YouTube, and check out Race Spot TV as they're actually broadcasting that too there. So you can check those guys out there. I know that's the top split, but like John just said up here, there's so many different levels of racing here at the majors. Check them out, and it's actually been a pretty good race here. We had some cautions earlier on, but now these guys are kind of settled into a groove here and been pretty good so far.
Yeah, I like the long green flag runs that these guys have been able to get in here. And, kind of when you see, how your setup is playing out, as we know these guys runs open, they run open setup. So you get to see who's at this point in the race not falling out of the seat from exhaustion. So it's true part of it. So, I think they've done a terrific job with their green flag runs right now. David's still up front, Lucas in second, Daniel Johnson third, Rob Powers fourth, Gary Nichols in fifth. So Matt Gelder, who was leading for a long time, had everybody trapped a lap down, running seventh. Right now he's the last guy on the lead lap. Mark Stevenson with his damage fell to a lap down right now in 8th place. So they're doing a great job here. It's going to be interesting to see what the 53 car is going to do if he's got the fast fix in his back pocket.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It will be interesting to see on Mark's side there if he's able to get that car repaired, get back out. And you're right, that's a good one out there, John. And John, up here, you'll know this one, Eric Tesh, man. I used to always say the Iceman from the Neverlands. Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still talk to Eric, actually.
I have not talked to him in a long time. I mean, I got him on Facebook. A lot of drivers on there.
Yeah.
Don't really get to talk to a lot of them, man, and whatnot.
And it was always interesting racing against him. It's nighttime over here. It was like early morning over there. But interesting guy, man. I always enjoyed racing against him. Very good competitor.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and many different races there. So, awesome running
John
there.
Marine's ranking broadcast.
Oh, yeah, I see him out there. Yeah, I see him out there. Hey, and and like I've always said, I'm no race spot. I'm no LSR. I'm nothing like that. I'm no Fox. I'm no we bring a different style, and there's all kinds of different styles out there and whatnot. Race spot, obviously, and they're the top tier when it comes to, bringing the iRacing broadcast stuff and so forth and so on, and rightfully so. They need to be too for what kind of coverage they have to bring and so forth and so on. But that's why I always say we're fun and exciting sim racing here, and that's just kind of what our motto want to live by. Have fun, bring the action. What happened?
The 18 and the 069, just accidental contact between teammates right here going into 1 and 2, and 18 was trapped up against the wall, gets in the right rear of the 069 here and gets sent up in the wall.
Daniel Johnson, well,
who's running in 3rd place.
And we're getting to a time now that obviously we've got some green flag pit stops happening on the track. Mark Stevenson on pit road. Now you're starting to get a little tight. You got a little bit of lap traffic out there. The car's not handling the best that it needs to be, and sometimes incidents happen.
Yeah, and I did that. I pulled the Tim on you. I just went, oh.
Yeah. That's all right. You shouldn't drop the coffee or anything. So
right. And the 53 of Stevenson has used his fast fix. Car looks shiny and new now, so we'll see how it's going to work out for him. We know he's going to be putting the lap.
Yeah, he's going to need a caution to get the thing back on the lead lap at least now.
Well,
the problem is he was 3 laps down now.
Well, he had to pit, though. I mean, the longer he stays out, the further and further behind he's going to be. So the sooner he can come in and just get it over with. And we're also at 226 of 393, so a lot of things can happen here. Smart decision on his part to go on and come now instead of just waiting it out any longer. He was just falling way too far behind.
Absolutely. Like old John Marine out there, friendly fire. That's pretty good. I like that. So, yeah, they're out there. You're going to give John up here in the booth PTSD, though, if you talk about friendly fire.
Yeah. Don't get into all the shooter games and all that stuff, man. It's just not my thing. But
well, you didn't have to. You was in the real thing.
Yeah. No, I just don't brag about it. That's all.
He ain't bragging about it, but I'll say we'll thank him for his service. How's that?
Yeah, I appreciate it. So,
Lucas on pit road.
He is. I know you were talking about broadcast companies and other things, and then I pulled the Tim on you there. Earlier
I was just basically saying is, there's right. I don't get into the who's better, who's not, and whatnot. But definitely when it comes to the guys like the race spot, they do an outstanding job. They've got a lot on their plate over there because obviously iRacing now is broadening their horizons with NASCAR and so forth and so on. and being on NBC and whatnot. So definitely a lot of pressure on those guys to perform, and they need to be up to that level. I enjoyed here with the Major Series and being able to bring this coverage to you. And good one here. So you think about this pit stop here by Lucas, right timing?
Oh, absolutely. Especially he's got damage. He just used his fast fix, popped the door back out. So
see that?
Yeah.
Think that was smart for him to do it that soon?
He's got to. I think that the damage was hurting him. I think that the right front was probably towed in some, not reacting the way he wanted to. His lap times were nowhere near as good as what they were earlier when I was bragging on his lap time. So if you're going to use it, now's the time to do so.
I got you. Well, was the second place man of Robert now is peeled off on pit road. Remember, David was the guy who was out front here. He's already gotten his pit stop done. He beat Lucas back out. Just to give an idea, well, I won't be able to tell gap-wise, actually, interval-wise between the two here. Still not able to tell.
It's because there are a lot of people who have come down pit road now. So.
Yeah. We'll see when it kind of cycles through here and kind of see the gap here between. Well, obviously both of them are still a lap down, though we know they're well behind the leader there. So Gary's the man out front, and Matt there. Well, he's on pit road. I was about to say he was the man that stayed out. Remember earlier on, he gambled and actually stayed out for quite a long time.
He did, but he learned it's not going to pay off. The best thing that he can do is pit when these leaders are pitting. If you're going to stay out another lap or two and then pit. Don't pull that where you're staying out 10 or 15 laps
Gary
longer.
Here?
Yeah, I mean, Gary, he's been up front all night, the whole race so far. But again, if we haven't seen the cautions come out after rounds of pit stops here, so I would not stay out very long, but people do what they do.
Well, I guess also too, he might be looking at the fact they got nothing to lose at this point. I mean, yeah, probably lose a lot of positions because it is a gamble to stay out like this, and then hope for a caution. I mean, because that's basically what you are hoping, unless you just in the back of your mind. If this thing goes absolutely green all the way to the end, unless you just have something in the back of your mind, pit stop wise, to be able to say, if I can catch everybody, and guess what? Never mind, we're under caution. Wow. Well,
we're jinxing people.
I might be, but Zachary Brown. See what happened here on the reason. He just got up into the wall, slammed the wall, came down, and then problem is when that thing hit the inside wall, threw it back up on the track. Nobody else got involved, but wow, talk about. Well, never mind what I was about to say earlier about if it goes green the whole entire way. Basically, what I was going to say is unless he has in the back of his mind that he could trap everybody down a lap down later in the race. And then they just pretty much don't have enough time to catch him. Now all that goes out the book. You know who this really hurts? Lucas. Because he's there in third place.
He'll get the wave around because the leader is pitting, but he won't be able to come down pit road really and it pay off for him. So unless everybody else pits, and you don't know, these guys could be telling each other what they're going to do. So
yeah.
Obviously paid off big for Gary, and I was sitting there saying we weren't going to see a caution. So
you just never know. Well, like I said, it's a gamble.
But I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's a gamble, I said it before there. Now obviously David's going to get the lucky dog, And he's going to, get that wave around. Lucas is going to have a decision. Does he come on pit road, or does he get that wave around? If he stays on track, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I get confused by some of this sometimes. If he stays on track, he gets the wave around. Obviously, he stays on the lead lap, but he's not going to be able to pit. If he pits, though, does he just go to the tail end of the field, or does he stay a lap down?
He has to stay out. They get the wave around at 1 to go, so there's no opportunity to pit. So if he's going to pit, he's going to be a lap.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah, and that's right. And sometimes that that stuff can get really confusing. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is if he was to opt to pit, he would stay a lap down. So in order for him to get back on the lead lap, he's got the only option he has is to stay out. It might not hurt him too bad, but then again, Gary and David are going to be two of the guys, I'm going to say, probably sitting very well right now. They're on the newest tires.
Yeah, I don't think they have much to worry about at all. I mean,
Gary uses Fast Fix, by the way.
Did he?
He did. Their car's clean now. It's not a... Well, I say that. No, it still looks a little crinked on the side. My bad. Well, I was on a far angle.
I was thinking his car still looks pretty jacked up on
I had to look a little closer there. A little closer. Well, if you're Gary, going through your mind right now?
If I'm Gary, I'm in a great position. I'm sitting here with fresh tires and nobody else is.
Well, David would be, wouldn't he?
David is with him, but not anybody else behind him. So, you got Lucas back there who's been fast. Daniel Johnson was up there running in third. So, I mean, really, it's between him and the 42 on tires. So, this is his opportunity to, really grow a gap that if they stay green can pay dividends towards the end of this race.
Well, I think the guy that benefited, obviously we talk about Gary here benefiting a lot from it, but actually what had to been David right there by being in that lucky dog. Lucas is the one who really, even though he's going to be up in third place, had to do the wave around. It does put him back on the lead lap, but he's not going to be on the better tires. Now at this point, or from this here on, and we'll see here when we get going, if you're Lucas, do you just sit back there and ride and say, okay, I know I'm on older tires, take it easy, or do I try to push the issue?
You can't push it here when you're sitting on older tires. He just needs to be patient and keep doing what he's been doing the whole race, and maybe another caution comes out, they all get back at the same time.
Got a huge one. A huge caution. Let's go back and watch. It looks like some guys might have spun the tires because it happened sort of maybe in the back, mid-pack back there. And, yeah, it's a pile-up. And here on the replay, like some cars just didn't get going. Looks like Dan back there in the back. Mark Stevenson, unfortunately, involved in this one. Ouch.
Oh, the 65 machine of Casey looked like there was a 350 machine up high going into one. The 65 played a game ascendant, and it just did not work out.
Yeah, watching right here, too, and they just got together. And from that point on, it collected 333 machine, 6 of Nathan. And Mark tried to get slowed down. Just got a little bit of bump right there on the back, but that's a big one. Cautions breed cautions. And cold tires, yes, that's a good one out there, Tom. I mean, John, we've been talking about it all night long. These restarts have been very, very treacherous because, we've seen it even on new tires. Those tires just don't stick like they do. And that's a testament to the tire model that they've done here. We can see it. Cold tires are acting like cold tires. It used to be new tires and they'd be just like glue on the track. Now it's not until they get warmed up and get up to, temps.
Well, and you got all these guys out here that, some pitted, some didn't, some are on their old tires. So when they go to the throttle, maybe they spun, maybe they're a little slower. So you've got to be careful in these restarts. And some of these guys just went in there timid, and some went in there with the send it mentality, and you see what happens.
Terrible. Have you ever seen it in a turn before?
Oh, have you ever watched me race before?
Well, we've talked about Tim all night long, and I'll remember the famous quote. Did it again. Folks, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I ain't gonna say what it is, but just go back on the channel and last year, I don't know, May or April or something.
Are you talking about when I took the points leader out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was his last great comment of it all was right there with Tim. He did it again.
I was angry. I wasn't very happy.
John was mad that night, so that's all right. But you know what? And we were talking about that, and racers, racers are going to be racers, and it's a different thing. Us up here as a broadcaster, and I've said before, I love doing this. I like getting drivers up here in the booth because it gives them a good perspective, a different perspective of what we see as opposed to what y'all see. And we know a lot of drivers do get angry, and even the real drivers in the world, they get angry at each other and so forth. We've seen it tonight a couple times, guys sending in a turn a little bit hard, and I got a feeling before this one's over, we might see a couple more moves like that.
Yeah, I definitely think so, especially with, the guys that we've seen up front and how hard they've raced since the beginning. And at the midpoint of this race, it's been a lot of hard racing here and door banging and all that stuff. So I can only imagine what's going to happen towards the end if they're side by side here.
Absolutely. Lights off on the pace car coming out of turn 4 here. Gary Nichols, the man up front. He got a good jump that last time. Pace car's in. See, man, if Gary's going to be able to get another good jump, and he does. Not bad. Man, I noticed it's not getting a very good jump. Why is Lucas on pit road?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think that he owes them a lap. Somehow timing had him up a lap.
And wow, that's pretty much going to be devastating his race. He's been held in pit road. He's got a penalty. Did he get a black flag that we just don't know about? Because he's going to go down 2 laps here. I noticed on the start, when they started the last time, he did not get going very, very fast, but he's going to go 2 laps down. And, he's definitely got time to get it done, to get back on the lead lap. But, man, now it's an uphill battle.
Oh, he got a lap back,
and now he got in a wreck.
Oh, and that's with the 53.
He was coming out of pit road, and right there, Mark Stevenson got caught up in a wreck on the 333 that just went flying through the air. And guess what? Lucas, nowhere to go, coming off pit road, slams the front end. Are you kidding? Wow. The 333 got up in the wall, tried to keep it up there, and then Mark Stevenson, nowhere to go, sent him flying. And Lucas, you talk about devastating, just got a penalty. 2 laps down, come off on pit road, and did get caught up. But sorry about that, John, but what was you saying? What was the penalty on to begin with on Lucas?
It looked like he got one lap back and then went around the field in front of the leaders at the start finish line, got his second lap back, and he was not supposed to be passing anybody.
Huh. Wow.
Because then he gets on the brakes and then falls back in position. That was very strange.
It might have threw the black flag on him before he was able to get back, and unfortunately, that's just either way devastating right there. And you know, I mentioned earlier, was it too early for him to use that fast fix on such a small damage? Because you never know. I mean, obviously you don't think about it when you're up front running like that. But,
and the 45 just blew up.
Well, he hit hard on the front nose.
Yep, he used his fast fix. He just blew up, so his race is up.
Well, I hate that. Lucas was one of the fastest machines out there all night long. So, Attrition, man, takes him out, and I know he's got a fan club out there, and I think they all just fainted. Did you faint too, John?
No, I did. My 3-year-old is telling me night, so.
oh, you about to go faint and go to sleep.
He's had a long day, but he don't ever go to bed without telling me he's going to bed. So
there you go.
He doesn't care what I'm doing or if I'm busy doing something. He's like,
nothing wrong with that. Mine don't feel bad. Mine, my oldest, when he's 13, he just falls out into bed, just goes to sleep.
Yeah, see, as they get older, they don't have anything to do with you until they need money or something.
Yeah, true. He comes out and asks me if he usually comes out and talks to me with food or something.
Yeah, that's the only time is when they need something. So.
Yeah. Fortunately. Yeah, I hate that out there, man. And I tell you, just one of those instances. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen on the track. Wrong place, wrong time, and unfortunately, wham. But this has actually worked out pretty well for Gary and them, but actually looks like David got around Gary up front. But while we were watching all that, there was a pass for the lead.
There's so many other exciting things happening.
A lot is going on that we've been keeping up with here. We're getting set to go back green flag, and David's going to be the man on the start. He gets a good jump there. It's Gary in that 08 machine, and you also got Daniel there along with it, who's going to take that second place spot. And we got 6 cars on the lead lap here. Nathan's the first one, 2 laps down here.
And that's not an insurmountable thing for him. If he can catch a couple cautions here, we still have a long way to go. We're at 258 now, so the 2 laps really isn't a big deal around here.
Right now, David up front, he's already seen a lot of what's happened to a lot of the top guys. I mean, earlier on, Mark Stevenson was very, very fast. Lucas, one of the fast machines out there all night long. And unfortunately, their nights are pretty much done. Caught up in a lot of mishaps. Now, Nathan, first one a lap down. He's 2 laps down right there, sitting in the 7th place spot for the moment. Trying to just hang on to that spot there, just in case precaution does come out. He's able to get one of those laps back at least.
I'll tell you what else I like about Rockingham, just to talk about something that would make no sense at this point in the race. It's the fact that they have Cheerwine painted on the wall, the Cheerwine sponsor logo, and a big logo outside the track. It's the only racetrack that has that. And I love Cheerwine. I'm drinking one right now. That's why I'm bringing it.
Well, Cheerwine manufacturer's not too far from one.
Yeah, it's a North Carolina
I think it's
thing,
like,
man.
I don't like Cheerwine.
Don't you blaspheme like that.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I like the moon pie, but I don't really care for Cheer.
Cheerwine is the greatest thing.
Dr. Pepper. I like Dr. Pepper.
You only like it because you think the guy that made it actually has a degree.
In Dr. Pepper.
How did he mix 23 flavors together?
That's right. Have you ever heard of the song, I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be one too?
Cheerwine's my jam. It's the stuff.
Yeah, that and alcohol. Now, probably some of these guys on the track would want some of it after their night is went. I mean, I'm serious. Some of these guys here tonight have been like, man, had this thing in the bag, had the awesome car, and then all of a sudden it's just turned into disaster.
Yeah, it can happen around this track in a heartbeat, as we've seen with some of the fastest cars out here. You get caught up in somebody else's.
Absolutely. And right now, David's the man out front. It's got Daniel sitting in second. And folks, like I say, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast so far. Hit a like, hit a share out there. I've always said if you don't like it, we still appreciate you coming by. And thumbs down button. Always aggravate Tim with that all the time. He's like, why? Hey, look. We still appreciate them taking their time out of their busy day to come and throw some hate. So we love it.
Yeah, appreciate you allowing us to be a part of ruining your day.
Yeah, absolutely. But these guys on the track here, put on a pretty good show. And Dr. Pepper made right there in the state of Texas. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that.
Of course he knows that.
John Marine, he's a world full of information out there. Guy's got a lot of notebook on him, so he knows a lot about racing too, and that's the thing there. It's awesome to see the spectators and people out there watching the race here know a lot about it. And my hat's off to a lot of these drivers. You're going to see a lot of these same name drivers throughout the series here at the Majors and Sportsman Style Series. They're going to be battling. They've got prizes that they're battling for. Got a lot of different things. Just I'm trying to look here and see maybe some of the sponsorships that are being brought about here, because now I'm looking here on the website real quick on the Majors.com, PacificMajors.com, and if you go on there and you click on the 2020 standings, it actually there's actually 5 different series for the American. They have a European International also. But they have they have the Pro, the Sportsman, the Legend, the Elite teams, and the Premier teams. They have a slew of different style setups there, and a lot of different information. And, we talk about points. Right now, in the Sportsman, excuse me, in the Sportsman Series, Mark Stevenson comes in here with a 443 points. Robert Deluxe, hope I said his last name, is sitting in second. Now, Ernie Ludwig, there's a name we're familiar with, but I've not seen him out here tonight. Third in points, and then Daniel Johnson sits fourth right now. Lucas, who unfortunately not the night he wanted, comes fifth in the points here. Matt, who's run pretty good all night long, comes sixth. Zachary Brown seventh. Andrew up here in the eighth. Marco there the ninth, and Brian Hollick in the 10th. So some of these guys here are going to make up some ground points-wise. Some guys here tonight, not here tonight.
Yeah, I'd say Stevenson right now, being the points leader, he's not going to have a good night tonight, obviously. 20 laps down in 20th position.
And Lucas there, we just saw, unfortunately, those two. But now, being that Ernie And I think Robert's not here tonight. Let me see. Well, actually, excuse me, Robert is. He's running the 8th place spot, so Robert's actually going to gain some points. You know, he's only 42 points behind Mark right now coming in, so he's going to have a very good night. Daniel Johnson, who is definitely running tonight's there. Lucas would have had a very good night, but now his night's got a little bit worse. Mark, sitting in the 6th, he was only 10 points behind Lucas. Might leapfrog him after tonight's race.
It's going to be a little bit of a shake-up there, but I also wonder if they allow any drop weeks.
That is excuse me, that is another one there that is a good one. What would say if they allow any of the drop week? Not trying to look here. Some of the sponsorships here. I'm just looking over a lot of the websites. You can look at a lot of information out there. Yeah, I know y'all are very, very disappointed on the fact on Lucas tonight, and just no fault of his own there. Just caught up in the wrong place.
Lenny Dykstra. Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh, Lenny, yeah.
And Coney Hawk.
Yeah, they've been out there, man. They've been out there. Oh, there's Lucas. Could have been a good finish. Had a server penalty because somebody stopped on the restart and I passed him. And came out of the pits and got collected. Yeah, unfortunately, just wrong place, wrong time there, Lucas. I mean, I hate that you had a fast car all night long. Wow. You know, and what more can we say? It's racing. And they do have a drop week. They have a drop week for the road and oval. So maybe this might be one of the races that Lucas is going to be like, can I drop this thing? John Marine said this race is flying by. Well, yeah, they do pretty good. And, you know, it's exciting. Longer style races, some of the longest races I actually broadcast. And I really, really enjoy it. Love coming out here and talking to the fans and the viewers. That's something that we have an advantage over that the actual real style broadcast doesn't. And I, you know, love just, you know, seeing what these guys can do over the course of a long style race. And then I got, you know, company up here with John and listen to, you know, his insights and great wisdom.
Ah. It is great wisdom you seek, great wisdom you have found.
That's right. Hey, when it comes to racing, I mean, you know a lot, and you know, I try to look at myself as learn all I can, obviously about the league, the drivers, and the teams out there. Try to showcase as many guys as I can on the track here as we're looking through the field. Kind of spread out right now. You know, unfortunately, like we've only got what right now 6 machines on the lead lap.
Oh yeah, but that's Rockingham. Real life races finish this way too.
and they do, and you know, you said it best right there. It's Rockingham. This place, we've said it all night long. It's treacherous on equipment. It's treacherous on cars, and you know, I gotta look. Now, I know Lucas was out there, and I don't know if he's still out there listening or not. How tired are you at this point, Lucas? I mean, that's an interesting thing because that right there is the biggest thing that we would have. Zachary Brown is around.
Are you playing guitar too much and not worried about driving on?
Let's see what happened. His night's just not been good in that DeWalt machine. Definitely going to need a lot of power tools. He's able to stay underneath the yellow line, and we're able to stay green flag. That has confused me all night long.
I know, it is so. But once you start figuring it out, then you're like, oh, okay.
That's right. We got Zandervoort. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that figuring out to you on it. And I'm gonna just say, I'm I like the other guy out there earlier says conspiracy.
And I'm just hypothesizing because of other races I've been in and to see how they come out or how they don't come out.
Lucas out there, that's good insight. I like that. He's like, I'm sweating up a storm and my arms are killing me. And we were talking about that earlier. That's the biggest thing that you can feel in these races is the amount of physicality when you race something like this. So yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of physicality going on in your house.
Well, the good thing is they can't hear it on the broadcast. You can hear it because I don't have it filtered through Discord. That's my oldest, or my youngest one in there, and he's playing. That's with his door shut, by the way. They can't hear it because I have the screen filtered, so I could sit here and hold my mic open, and it'd have to be a pretty loud bang before they would hear it. You hear it because it's not filtered. Yeah, he's loud.
It sounds like he was making a video for WWE or something.
Oh, he's in there playing something and getting mad doing it. Probably like some of these drivers out here. And, hey, you get passionate about doing things. Whether you're a driver or you're playing or, whatnot you're doing out here. So, when did these guys make their last pit stops?
It's been a while. I forget the actual lap number because there's so much other stuff going on there. But, big wreck right in front of.
Let's go back. It actually was Robert. I can watch what happened here. Got a slow car. It was up against the wall. And the next thing you know, the 333 slams the inside wall, goes up the track. And you're right. I got a ride. Wow.
Just stayed in the wall. And then the 350 does his best Ricky Bobby impression in driving back.
Watch this. That's how close the leader was. We just rode on the hood with him, folks. David probably saw flashbacks right there, but wow, that was close.
How about the 350 driving the car backwards through the corner?
Trying to get that thing going straight. Wow. Pit stops underway. Yeah, you're right there, Ron. They've got a slew of stuff here at the Majors. Check them out at PacificMajors.com. They got oval, they've got road, and it's not just the certain cars. I mean, we've got Indy cars they're going to be doing. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that the Indy 500 race because I'm really interested to see those cars go around there at what, like 210, 220 mile an hour around that track.
Yeah, but then you've got the draft that comes into play, how much fuel they want to use. Those races can be fuel mileage races. It's so much that goes into. It's a whole lot of engineering in those cars, and it.
Oh yeah.
Really can give you a headache if you try to understand it too much.
Well, I look at it and I'm not 100% sure because I really think the F1 car, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on it there, is probably one of the most advanced cars. The Indy cars used to really be, and I'm not saying they're not, up there. Now, when we're looking at NASCAR tonight and so forth, and when you talk about NASCAR, they've went the way of a lot of onboard computers and stuff. So a lot of the expense of the Cup cars have went up over the years, but I still don't think that they're at the expense of what maybe some of the Formula One cars are, because I really think as a race car being built from the ground up, I think those are probably some of the most expensive ones. Again, it could be wrong, but the amount of engineering that goes into those machines.
Absolutely. Did you see the video the other day of the Mercedes as he would move the wheel driving? It would pull the tires in or out, tow them in or out, and all, like different things he could do with the wheel to make the tires react.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the amount of engineering and stuff that they've got in those Formula One machines are amazing. And when we're talking about the IndyCar, IndyCar has a huge amount of engineering in it. A lot of people, if you want to look like this car out here, we call it the K&N car, but this is the old styled Cup car. This car here, back in the day, I mean, if you want to look at today's standards of Cup cars, I mean, this car is a relic as opposed to maybe, today's Cup machine.
And I mean, it is compared to what the ARCA cars are, or what's considered the K&N series today. I mean, they're running the old Fords and all that stuff, so these are really old cars.
They are, but it just shows you the amount of the technology and that has came into racing. But still, like I said, we got those Indy cars coming up, and interesting. We still got a lot of the road styles. We get set to go back green. David's going to get another good jump out front of the field here with Daniel. This one's coming to a close here. We're getting close to about 100 to go in this one. Now's when you got to start thinking about those last pit stops, strategy, and so forth, so on.
Yeah, I think right now, David being out front, he looks, a little loose right there, and he catches it.
Seen that all night long, too. Cold tires. These cars just step out from under you violently, and you just, there's nothing you can do. Next thing you know, you're trying to chase it down the track.
And it's like he felt it right before it happened. He could feel it coming because he caught that really fast.
Got a little damage on the rear end of that thing, too, don't it?
Yeah, he's had that for a while now.
That's what, but I know you said earlier that it might not affect it too much, but every car that's had damage on the rear, I mean, it seems like there at first, car's really, really loose, and after a while, it might tighten up a little bit. But can that wing being like it is maybe throw that setup off just a little bit?
I mean, it could do a little bit, but honestly, especially on this track, if you could physically take the spoiler and jack it up in the air some more, it's just going to help you with your downforce and keeping those rear tires.
Okay. Well, right now he's doing an outstanding job out front. David is. Got Daniel right there behind him. Gary Nichols has done an awesome job staying in the top three. He's got a little damage on the front side of it, but remember, he started this race well out of the top 10. Moved himself in position right now to get a good podium finish. Rob Powers right there behind him. Got 6 machines on the lead lap. After that, you've got Nathan, who did get one of those laps back, by the way. You said earlier, some cautions fall. He could get back on the lead lap and be a contender here.
Yeah, he definitely can here, but when you were talking about it, Gary Nichols started 24th. He's running 3rd. And then the 44 car, Maurice Gomillion, is how I'm going to guess you say his last name. I apologize if it's not right. But he started 21st. He's running the 5th spot. So great job by those guys, especially Gary and Maurice, to make up as many positions as they have and be running where they are, staying out of trouble and just trying to get a good finish out of this deal.
Yes, it is. Like you just said, Maurice right there in 5th, and then don't count the guy behind him there in 6th. Remember, he did a pit stop strategy earlier on, and it has paid off for him because he's maintained on the lead lap, and he's up to 6th so far. That would be Matt, I'm going to say Gelder. Right. I know a lot of these guys are going to send me messages afterwards. Joe, what's wrong with you? Man, look, I'm trying.
I mean, first of all, you don't want a real response to that question.
Well, true. Hi.
So, long story short, if we say your name wrong, just send a message and say, this is how you say it. And leave it at that. Don't ask what's wrong with us because
help me out a little bit. And most of the drivers, for the most part, they're really good guys. You know, they send a message here, and definitely I've gotten to talk to a few of them out there. So it's awesome to see there, and good group of guys here at the majors. A lot of them, you know, I always say, you know, if you like what you see, great, hit like and share out there, and you know, if you got any suggestions on anything, and you know, definitely got your favorite driver. And I know Lucas was one of the hot one out there. A lot of people was rooting for him, unfortunately out of the race. But anybody else got any other good drivers? You know, we'll showcase them off here. Well, at this point in the race here, John, goes through your mind as a driver. What do you you got less than 90 to go.
Yeah, can we turn the rest of these laps, please? That's what's going through my mind.
Well, and besides,
this
obviously besides
race.
That,
it's so physical, man. But if let's say if I'm Daniel or Gary in those positions, like, you're trying to think to yourself, okay, you can go as far as you want to go in this run, but who's going to try to split it in half? Or is somebody going to try to short pit, be the first guy to hit pit road and grow a gap that's going to make you have to chase them down at the end? Or is somebody going to stay out for a bit? It doesn't matter again. See, we start talking about
yeah. It doesn't matter. We got a caution out on the field. That's Harold Darner. Oh, he just got collected by the 3 machine. Brian, let's see what happened with Brian here. 58's up underneath him, and he just come off the track. We've seen it all night long. Carter slams that outside wall. The other machine just nowhere to go there, Harold. And they went around. Contact. Well, now what do you do pit strategy-wise? Do you come in?
Oh, you absolutely come in, and they're definitely going to pit again. You're going to have 2 more pit stops here, counting the one we're getting ready.
Right.
Because you got to have tires, and if you pit and if you split the run up, you could chase those guys back down because the tire fall off here, it's pretty amazing. So as long as you're knocking down some good laps, work your way through traffic, you can catch the leader again. So they're definitely going to pit 2 more times.
You know who this benefits? Nathan.
Yeah, he's got to get the waiver.
Yes, he is. He's going to get that lucky dog and still be able to come in and get tires. So he'll be on the same cycle. But he's going to be on the lead lap. So don't count him out. Remember earlier on in the race, he was very, very fast. Now he's... Oh, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I told you can make it up.
You know, Matt did not pit.
Nothing.
Oh. Matt did not come in and pit in the 69 machine.
You're right. I just
Smart
went back
move.
and
I don't. I mean, I don't see why he would not have came in.
You got to have tires. You just gotta have it.
Tire. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, folks, on the caution, get set here to go back green. We'll step away for 1 second. Be right back here as soon as they get set to go green. All right, folks, we're back here, and pace car's in. Back to green flag here. And Matt, we're going to see if staying out pays off for him. Remember, he did this earlier. So, what do you think the strategy is here, John?
I don't know. It doesn't matter because we're going to have a caution.
Every time we say Woo! And you know what? Same two guys again. Harold and Brian back in it, and not sure. Just like them two got back together there with each other.
Yeah, I got a pretty good idea, but
well, we'll just say both guys taking the same real estate, trying to take the same real estate, got together with each other there, unfortunately. But obviously, everybody behind Matt's not going to pit. I mean, it just came in. We got to go back to, I mean, smart move. I mean, what's the play here? What is Matt trying to do on this stop? The reason I ask that is because even if he would have pitted, he would have started back in no further back than 6th place.
Well, I mean, he could have been involved around something like that, but. I don't know. I would have pitted, but he's trying to just maintain track position. Maybe he thinks tire fall off is going to equal itself out, and they'll all be just as fast. I wish I had a better. I wish I had a better answer.
Well, yeah, and that nothing wrong with that. I mean, but I'm with you on that one. Is as far as we have seen track position play a factor tonight. Maybe he's starting to see, getting here towards the end of the race. Again, if it goes green, every time we say that, usually throws caution out. But if it goes green, they're going to have to pit again.
If you bring up the word strategy again, and another caution comes out, we're never talking strategy.
I know. Every time we've said
like
it, kind of just
time in a row.
I've always said we give them the broadcast jinx, and lo and behold, it's been that way tonight. But I don't want to jinx. I mean, whatever Matt has, planned here, he does have a fast car on his outside.
Yeah, he definitely does. But the other thing, when Matt stayed out on that super long run, after everybody had pitted, his lap times weren't terrible. I mean, they were actually decent lap times for the amount of time that he had on the tires. But being that we're this far into the race, all the other guys around you pitted, unless he just wants to get up front and set the tone here, and then maybe a couple of restarts, everybody's going to go in and get tires again, and they'll be just fine. So I don't want to say that what he's doing is, the wrong thing, in my opinion, because normally when I say that, I get made to look like an idiot.
Well, don't feel bad. You'll be okay. Well, we're about to see if what's going to happen out here and what's the play for that man up front there, Matt. See what he's got up his sleeve here. Because he's going to need every little bit of luck or every little bit of strategy he's got to hold off a hard-charging David. I feel like if this thing goes, a longer green flag, I always do say cautions breed cautions, but pace car's out of turn 4. See what happens here as we're getting set to go back. Green flag here for the Rockingham 400 for the Majors. Green flag's out. He's going to play a little bit with him this time.
He did, but those tires on the outside of the 42, it's not going to make a big difference here. 42 just needs to be patient. You see Matt try to run him up the track. 42 backs out, gets behind him here. Now he's just got to time it right. You see the 69 kick out a little bit with the rear.
I'm with you. I think it's just a matter of time. Right now, David, he's still got time. He's got the newer style tires. I don't think he needs to really push the envelope here. Maybe let Matt just drive up there a little bit, and after a while, I think that car will just let loose, and he'll be able to glide around him just like that right there. I think it's a matter of time. Here we go, and slams the door on him.
Yeah, 42 kind of gave it up right there and lifted. But like I said earlier, the shallow entry into 3 is not going to do anything. It's definitely not going to help you pass a guy. It's going to help you get wrecked or wreck a guy. So smart move on his part to just give that up. Be a little more patient here. Set it up for an entry or a hard exit here. But
well, I was about to say the man you need to watch out for is that man in the 6 car, Nathan, as he was chasing that thing all over the track. Got bumped in the back. Now he's 3 wide. Got damage on the back end there. But that thing was all kind of slick.
Yeah, and all while that went on, the 42 makes the pass on the 69. So David's back up front.
Wow. Well, David, like you said, up front, Matt there. Either way, I mean, if Matt doesn't come out of here winning the race, it's still going to be an exceptional ride and caution.
Be the 44. Or he's at least in barrel.
Oh, they were 3 and 4 wide back there. And he kind of got locked up against another machine. Luckily, that was not huge.
The 44 was in front of him. The 44 gets on the apron and gets sideways in front of them as they're coming.
And that lucky that was not bigger than what it was. Wow, hats off to those other drivers, because they were all like 4 wide right there for the moment. Nathan's on pit road.
That apron down there is not a forgiving place to be here. It's almost completely flat in that area of the track there. So you get the left sides on that. It completely takes all your wedge out of the car, every bit of grip you got, and can send you around.
Yeah, and I think this is a good move by these guys coming on pit road. At this point, I mean, obviously there's only 6 drivers now in the lead lap. About to be 7 because Steven's going to get the wave around here. But yeah, come in and get tires. I mean, the worst, like I say, the worst you're going to go down is going to be the 7th place spot. Come in, get tires, and back out.
Good break for the 69 of Gelder here. As we saw, he was going to be falling behind. So good break for him to come in and get tires.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what I was saying before is, his strategy has been paying off for him all night long. We've questioned it a couple times, but I mean, you got to look. He has been able to stay up front. If he don't win the race, he definitely could at least come out of here maybe with a podium finish or a very, very good finish here in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say he's got a really good shot to win right now. I mean, he's been up front, he's had some, really just good strategy and things that he needed cautions. He needed it to help pay off. And, one time it didn't, the next time it did, this time it did again. So that's part of it, man. It's you're kind of gambling. See how it goes. It's either going to work or it doesn't.
And we obviously, I know I did. I was questioning the last one he did there. Why in the world did you stay out and everybody else pitted? I'm going to say it like this, maybe some head scratching style strategy because it's different. But sometimes that's what you need to win. You got to take gambles and take risks in order to get yourself in a good position and win races, because if it falls right, you know, he could steal the, you know, he could steal the win here. It's not over with yet.
Yeah, I'd say he definitely can. And we saw, like I said, his lap times getting runs on his tires, they weren't that bad. So he's got a really good long run car here. He's just got to get to a long run for that to happen. Unfortunately, here we've had, you know, a couple cautions, you know, within several laps of each other here. So maybe, you know, he'll get that opportunity. But the 42, I think, has been the class of the field here. But now we got the 6 back on the lead lap. We know that he's been fast, so now we'll see, you know, who's going to really put it to it, who's going to take care of it. You know, who's going to stay out on tires? Is somebody going to try to cut this run in half and chase the guy back down? There's a whole lot of different things that could happen between now and the end of this race.
And another thing, too, is we've seen it time and time again, even on new tires, I got a feeling Nathan back there in that number 6 machine has a very loose car on cold tires because he has had to chase that thing all over the track. We'll just have to see on this restart when they go back. We've seen several drivers actually have that happen. You know, have to chase the car, you know, down the track there on the first couple laps until those things get up to temperatures. And most notably, it's been that 6 machine there, Nathan. He's definitely got a fast machine, but can he handle it until it, you know, kind of, you know, settles down and gets it going?
Yeah, I would say that I think you can get to the end here without having to pit. But can you take care of your tires? Is going to be the thing to do.
So you're thinking they can go all the way from this point?
I think they can go all the way from this. If they have 100% fuel, if they run with 100% fuel, they can make.
Question. Lucas, are you out there? Maybe you can answer that one for me. I know they have said that before on what fuel they've run. But again, a reminder as we're back green flag here. Man up front, David gets a good jump. Guy I'm going to keep an eye on there is going to be Matt, Gary, and that number 6 machine. You know, he likes coming through the field fast, but that car is just so unstable to me on cold tires.
It is. He just needs to be smart and keep the car under him right now. Just set yourself some pretty decent laps here. Let the tires come in. Let the car come to you. And then go after it for a couple laps. Or if you can make it to the end, then just pace yourself.
I am trying to find that info here. Nowhere does it say fuel that they run. Track temp and everything. Run, track state.
I would imagine being full races that they run 100%.
And I'm going to agree with you on that one. I'm going to go with that. If Lucas, if you're out there still watching, maybe chime in. Ron, someone, one of y'all guys out there. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go along with it is real to life because obviously we are real to life of what these cars would be. Right now you see Nathan trying to do his best. He's back there in the 5th place spot. David's the man up front leading this one. Rob Powers, got to give a hats off to him right there. One of the Kinetic Racing guys. Been up front all night long, and then the guy back there in 3rd, Matt, I tell you, wild pit strategies all night long. I mean, we got to give him the crew chief award tonight because some of his calls have definitely kept him in the top 3, if not out front, all night long.
Yeah, that's part of racing too. Is you just make a call and stick with it, and it either pays out or it doesn't pay out at all. So, but so far, so good for him, and now he's just got to try to get to the end here. Not really turning 23.6. That's and he just puts it in the wall.
Oh, and now he's flipping. He just tore that car all to pieces. Well, we were sitting here just talking to him about him. And then all of a sudden it just kind of grabs the wall. He saves it, but then it turns right back into the wall and then it flips upside down. I think it would have been all right if it would have flipped upside down. And then from there, Joshua hitting the back, but Oh, devastating there for Matt. Ouch.
Oddly enough, I think the flipping was fine. It was he was trying to save it, and then it just caught and turned him head on into the wall right there. So the nose into the wall definitely kind of hurt him as he used his fast fix earlier. So
Wow.
gonna have to deal with whatever damage he's got here.
Yeah, and we were just saying they definitely had a pit strategy, and David's going to come on pit road now. Why not? I mean, like I said, you might as well. There's only 6 machines on the lead lap. It's not going to hurt because at this point they can go the whole way.
Well, and then you got 6 on the lead lap, one of those cars being the car that just wrecked. So then really you've got 5 that are in racing condition, race shape or in the race, because you've got cars out there that are, only 2 laps down or 3. Come on in and get yourself some tires. I mean, as long as you can keep putting them on there.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, we're talking about people. They wreck every time we do. I mean, I hate it. We've seen it all night long. Mark obviously was one of the fastest earlier on. Got caught up in that, and then Lucas out there leading, got caught on a penalty, and the next thing you know, bam, and several other drivers, unfortunately, getting caught up, and then now Matt there all night long has had some wild, crazy pit strategies, but it's paid off for him, and he was running up there in 3rd place, just lost the car coming out, gone. And, we've seen that all night long here, John. I mean, these cars just jump out from under you without any warning. And it's happened when the tires are cold. It's happened when the tires have gotten warm. It's strange.
Well, and here's the thing too, is I was just looking at his lap times and saying, he wasn't exactly pushing it, and then he had just pushed it. He went from running an 8 to a 6. He picked up 2 tenths. All right, and then the track temp has gone down to 97. I think we began this race at about 122, 23. So now we're down to 97. So have you made the adjustments to your tire pressures to have the grip that you need to be able to push it like that? And that's the thing, if you're keeping things the same and you're not making adjustments as the track adjusts, and the track is going to adjust, you've got to make those changes to be able to push your car like that.
And you're right. Changes to the car definitely is something that you need to do throughout the race. And, we don't know what he has changed and what he hadn't changed. Definitely could have made a wrong turn there, loosen up the car. Unfortunately, though, probably going to do him in for the night. We'll just have to see how hurt and bad the car is. Still sitting on pit road, I believe. Yep, still sitting on pit road at this point. So, unfortunate for Matt there as we're getting set to go back green flag, and new man out front, Reese.
We do, but he had stayed out. So he's definitely going to be in trouble on this restart here. But you hate to be the 47 being behind him on the restart.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see what happens here on this restart. Pace car's out of turn 4, going to drop off on pit road, and it does. Maurice is going to be the man up there. He's going to get the jump on him, though.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a timid restart by the 42 and 47, but smart on everybody's part to let the 44 get started and get going in case he spun the tires.
And here comes the man on the inside. David's going to take that spot away. There you go. Going back to the front side. Again, I got to look back there, too. Look at 4th place. Here comes that man, Nathan. Don't count him out. He's not done yet.
Nah, he just ran a 25.8, so we're going to see these guys picking up their speeds here. This lap will be faster, and we're going to see who's pushing it to get to the front.
And I think that 6 machine's probably going to be one of them trying to push it to get up there, because he knows the longer that 45 of David is out front, the further out he's going to go if this thing stays green for any amount of time. So right now, he's going to try to push the envelope to get around. He dove on the inside right there for the moment, had to get out of it there for a second, or he probably would have ran all over Rob.
Yeah, and the leader was the fastest the previous lap. He ran a 23:53 this lap to a 8, a 7, and an 8 by the 6 car. So the leader's not being conservative right now at all. He's trying to get a little bit of a gap right now and make these guys run him down, but he can't continue every single lap like he's qualifying. So it's good to get a gap, but now you got to maintain.
And here's the thing, I really think that 6 machine there, Nathan, is a lot faster than the 2 in front of him. Obviously, we know Maurice on a well older tires. Rob right there seems like he's just not been able to get around Maurice, but it is holding up the 6 machine there as he looks to the inside. Yeah, I mean, Nathan's going to have to make a move. If not, David's just going to keep walking away.
Yeah, and then good to go back single file right here. The 6, when he's ready to pass, he's got to hurry up and do it. You know,
it's a hard place to pass here. You know,
it is extremely difficult.
Hard,
yeah. And you have to know the passing zones here. And right here's one of them. Entry to 1. That's a perfect move by the 6. He's got to get the grip. He's got it. Slides up in front of him now. Takes that away. The entry into the corners, that's the best place for passing.
And, you know, he went in that corner and almost got into the back end there. It was really, really close, but he was able to make that pass clean. Again, Nathan, he was 2 laps down in this race earlier on. Got those 2 laps back. Now back on the lead lap and battling for second. I think he's going to make short work here, the 47. No, I'll be able to get around to him. 44, excuse me.
Yeah, new fresh tires on the bottom, the inside there, just able to eat up that line there and pull away. Ran a 23:85. That was side by side there, so to a 23:58 up front. So David's still laying down some really fast.
And now we'll see just how fast that 6 is. He's got clean track. David's got clean track. That both of them can kind of race their own race there. And you just saw Nathan came out of that turn. Saw that car, man, almost stepped violent for a second. Yeah, now you see it. They're picking up the pace, 23.49, 23.44. I think David knows that 6 machine's back there, and if he eases up a little bit, he'll be right on his back bumper.
Yeah, and these are some of the fastest laps that we've seen in the race, obviously with the track conditions, you know, getting better and cooling off a little bit. Plus, it's towards the end of the race, and, you know, you're going to push a little bit harder here, but now, you know, the 6 car's got to see the gap in front of him and try to maintain it. But, I mean, my thing is how many more laps are they going to continue to push? Like a 23:39 by the leader.
Wow.
To a 4:10 behind him. So pretty close on lap times, but a 39. That's got to be the fastest lap. It is. The fastest lap that David's turned all day.
That's huge here this late in the race. Definitely bad fast. Watching though, Matt back out on the track. He's back in 9th place, so he got some damage done to that car, and he's out there around trying to see if he can come out of here at least a steal with a top 10 finish. And that would be very impressive after pretty much destroying that car.
Yeah, we see a 23:32 by the 6 car, which was faster than the leaders. He was a 35.9. So these guys, their lap times are really picked up.
I see that. Nathan right there a little bit faster than the leader out front of David. It's going to be interesting. And I'm like you, do you pit again? Are we going to see another pit stop, or are these guys going to push it to the end, especially at the pace that they're running?
I don't think you're going to see anybody come to pit road now. I think that they can make it to the end. The question's going to be, are they going to have the tires to make it to the end? And that's the thing. If they can get a big gap, if they got a really good short run car, which we see the leader definitely does, the 6 car does, but are your tires going to be there at the end to help you, or some of these guys behind you, that manage their tires, are they going to be able to chase you back down? So it's all about, getting a gap and managing the gap, and the guys behind them don't want them to get too far ahead, but everybody knows what they can or can't do with their car. It's a big question mark right now with how the tires are going to be here in about 10 or 15 laps.
It's a 2-second gap between the leader and a second place machine there right now. Kind of maintaining, even though when he went through a lot of lap traffic. I still say at this point, David would probably be a touch faster than Nathan there behind him. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Still got to get my hats off there to Gary Nichols, up to 4th. But what a day he's had. And Maurice, we just talked about it. Maurice sitting on the old tires, but he's still in 3rd place.
Yeah, Maurice started 21st, Gary 24th. Rob Powers, that's a name I know we haven't mentioned a whole lot, not on purpose, just total accident, but at the same time, we haven't jinxed him yet either, knock on wood. So,
yeah.
But good runs by these guys to stay out of trouble. Yeah, we're not going to say his name again.
But he's done well. He's up to 5th place, like I said, right there. Daniel Johnson right there would actually be the first cars a lap down. He's 2 laps down. Sitting back in 6th place right there. And then you got Daniel E right there behind him in 7th. 2 laps down. Then Joshua Mertz laps down, then 8th, and then Matt. Back in 9th place, still got, top 10 here so far. Just went a lap down. He's the first one. 3 laps down, then you've got Robert, 10th place spot. He's 3 laps down, several other machines right there. So look and see what we've got here. Officially out of the race right now would be Harold is out of the race, and officially Alpha, because Lucas is actually back out on the track now. Everybody, he is 60-some laps down. He actually could make a few positions up, and the reason the biggest reason I think he is because Mark Stevenson is still on the track, 63 laps down. And remember, Mark comes in here the points leader, and Lucas is right there along, sitting there in about 4th place, I think. Double check it. So with that said, points matter here. That's what they're doing at this point racing.
Yeah, there's a couple spots both of those guys can pick up, so those points are going to be, they could turn out to be huge. And this race is going to be a big swing anyway for some of these guys, but it could come down to a point or two. I've seen seasons do that. We've seen it in real life where guys tie. Yeah. So, if you can still be out there, better be out there if you try to win a championship. So, good for them to not just shut it off and be done. Get out there and get what you can, because you never know what could happen either. You're short, you could have a 8-car massive wreck or something terrible. Yeah.
Well, just to kind of give an idea, Lucas sits 5th right now. Matt, who we just saw hit the wall, is 10 points behind him. Now, if it ended right now, and I'm not sure how they get, I definitely will find out all that. But from that point on, I would say Matt, if it ended now, just by looking at it, he might be able to leapfrog Lucas. It would be close either way. So maybe that's why they're out there, is just how close it is. Now you've also got to look Daniel Johnson, who is running here tonight. Daniel Johnson is sitting in 6th, and he's actually right now, 4th in points. He is 2 points ahead of Lucas. He's actually going to gain a lot. Really going to gain even more because Ernie's not here. And then you've got to look at Robert. Robert's another one who's sitting in the 10th place spot, who is 2nd in points. So all those guys right there, it's going to come down to a tight battle.
And the bad thing for Daniel Johnson is being 2 laps down, he was actually on the lead lap and running up front, and his internet connection went bad and it booted him out. And by the time he came back in, got back to, he was 2 laps.
And, you know, folks, obviously there's some things we can't control, you know, internet power outages, you know, Mother Nature, big problems, stuff like that. It's the equivalent of a mechanical failure for guys in real life, you know, for things like that to happen. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, I've seen guys going to win the race, come out of turn 4, and boom, get disconnected, they're gone.
Yeah, those things happen.
It does.
It's part of it, man.
Man, I tell you what, you want to talk about somebody that want to punch the screen. I'd probably want to punch the screen after that, you know. Oh, we got a car around. I don't know who that was, but he just bagged. Didn't bring caution out. It was up there around where Daniel and them were at, though. We got 23 to go in this one.
Yeah, right now, looking at the lap times, they've pretty much fallen off now. I think they've used up all the good, and they've kind of equaled themselves out here. So 42 did a great job to go up there and push it as hard as he did to get this gap here. And it looks like, you know, as long as it can stay green, he's going to be able to maintain this unless somebody's really holding back.
Or a caution flies.
Yeah, I said if it stays green. But
Okay.
if it stays green.
We've seen that all night long, you know. We sit up here and everything looks like it's going pretty good. Next thing we know, boom. Now, there is something to keep in mind. There is no green-white checkered here. So, it takes us back to the old days. I'm going to say not too old, but the way it was before. If a caution flies, usually with about 4 or 5 laps to go, it's going to be over with because they won't be able to get back, you know, green by that time. So I've always said it, you know, that's how it used to be, but they don't have the green-white checker here.
Yeah, that's good because that's the way it should be.
Oh, you don't
Whether
like
it's
green-white
iRacing, I hate green-white checker. I think it's one of the worst changes they ever made in racing. And a lot of, well, you could get me started on some stuff, but a lot of the changes they've made to racing are completely for ratings. And if we're making changes to the way that we race for ratings, then you're making the wrong stinking changes.
You're right, and there are some changes in NASCAR over the years, definitely. Some like, some don't, and whatnot. Yo, Ron, you're right out there, and I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't care if you're a pro all the way down. This track, this car, this tire model is very, very hard to handle, and it's just one of those things we've talked about all night long. It's a treacherous thing out here. The track is very, very bumpy. It's not that easy to modulate through. The tire model on this car, I mean, this car in itself is a handful. It's got a lot of horsepower. Doesn't have a lot of downforce. I mean, if you jumped in, let's say you raced the Cup car now, and then you jumped in this thing, and you'd be like, "Holy cow!" It's like it's a night and day difference. And then you, on top of that, you put the tire model that they've got, which is totally different than anything else out there. Yes, it makes for a track combo that very, very tough to tame and very tough to deal with.
I mean, this car, you really have to drive it, and that's at a lot of tracks, but especially here with, we've mentioned the bumps and all the things that go on, and the tire wear here is, the fall off is unbelievable. So you really have to wheel these cars around, and I'd kind of forgotten that until I got in it and started doing laps around here myself just to see what it was going to feel like, because I haven't ran this car. I really don't run it very much, honestly. I do mostly Xfinity and Cup and play around on some dirt, so I don't get to race everything all the time, but these cars have always been a handful. So you put them on a track like this that has a lot of bumps and things that you need the car to manage or things you need to avoid, and it becomes a handful here. And by now, these guys are exhausted. I can tell you, they're going to be tired. If anybody says they're not tired, they're lying.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be feeling it to this point there in your arms and in your legs. I mean, and the concentration, too. That's another thing. To maintain this amount out here, even so much in the road racing side, because you've got a lot going on through that. Still exhausting in what these guys doing here to maintain lap after lap concentration. But he comes across the line. He's going to have 10 to go here tonight for the Rockingham 400 for the Major Series, the Sportsman's class here tonight. Been a good one, and that man right there, David, in the 45 machine, unless just something, wild happens. 42 machine, excuse me. Wild happens. I don't know. It could be his to lose, but we've seen some crazy stuff tonight.
Yeah, he's got a really good gap, on the guys behind him here. He just needs to be careful. He's caught up in some lap traffic here. Almost makes it 3 wide right there. Thinks better of it. Very smart on his part. So just be patient with the traffic here. You've got a really good gap. And don't do anything crazy. Just maintain what you've got and get to the checkered flag here.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, a man here in second place, Nathan, he was 2 laps down earlier in the race. Got him back. He has battled back up here to second. Wow, what a turnaround to him. And Gary Nichols, I got to get my hats off. As of right now, sitting in third place. Starting way back in 20-some position. To work himself up here, stay mostly out of trouble all night long. And to have the car here towards the end, sitting there in third. And then Rob Power sitting there in fourth place. Very, very good bounce back. And, we mentioned it. Might not be the winning move of the race, but it's probably one of the smartest ones right now. He stayed out on that last pit stop. Maurice right here. And it's, for the moment, it's going to put him in a top 5.
I think that he had just pitted prior to the caution coming out. And so it enabled him to actually get back on the lead lap and be the leader. I went back looking because he was turning some super fast times. So the caution fell at a time that worked out for him. And he just decided to stay out there because he had just gotten tired. But still a good move, worked out for him. Going to get a good finish out of this good point tonight. And that's what these guys need. Anytime you can run top 5 and you've got a long season and it's different racing disciplines and things like that, you need, good points nights on things that, you're strong at, or if people have a bad night, you got to take advantage of it and try to have a good night and get your points.
I tell you, and looking back here, Mark Stevenson still running on the track. Definitely a night that he probably wants to forget. But he's back in 19th spot. Lucas right there, who slammed the wall, had a very fast machine. He's still running. Picked up 1 or 2 positions there. He's back in 20th right now. So those guys definitely are grinding this thing out here with points-wise. As we've been said here, to have about 3 to go. And like I said, if a caution was to fly at this point, it would officially be over with. And that man out front. So unless he is the caution, it's pretty much smooth sailing for him right now.
I gotta say that I'm impressed with the 6 of Nathan and what he was able to do. He had some issues there, some damage, get that fixed, go 2 laps down, get that back, and work his way back up here to most likely finish second. So pretty impressive for him to be able to do that and still have a good night and, you know, take care of his damage, manage that correctly, use his fast fix when he needed it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my hat's off to a lot of these guys. I mean, to come out here and battle this track for this long, and you know what?
Yeah,
Nathan right now,
he's likely finish second, but
never mind.
He's under
Gary.
fire.
Woo, yeah, I just noticed Gary right there is looking to try to take. As the white flag's going to come out here, folks, we're going to have a battle. Next time around, the white flag will fly. We're going to have a battle for second. Gary has caught him.
He's always got to have a good run right here. Not close enough to really make it here to see if the 6 can get it to stick on the bottom.
Oh, is he going to push the issue? Coming out of turn 4. No, the 6 machine's going to hang on to that second place as David going to actually come out of the turn and win this thing here tonight. Down the back stretch one more time, though. Gary's going to have a shot on the inside. He turns him. Well, you know what? He did the right thing. He got out of it and did not pass it. Boy, I tell you what, I got to give a hats off to Gary right there. He could have drove right on through Nathan and took that spot away, but he opted not to. Wow, you want to talk about, you just don't see that a lot, John. I mean, at all. You do not see that. So my hats off to Gary right there for doing it. He could have just drove clean through Nathan, and but he didn't. Wow.
Yeah, very good sportsmanship there, you know, on his end to just not clean him out there. Backed off it, let the 6 gather it up. Good move on his part there. Not, like you said, not something you see a lot of. So it's good on him for doing that, because it's a hard thing to do, is back off when you know you got the spot.
Oh, absolutely. If any of these guys, actually, we do have Gary here that we'll be able to talk to. Looking for Nathan and David. But they'll jump up here and see if we can get a word in with them. So they'll jump in here. Well, let's bring down this man here, the third place, and John, we'll let you get a word with him.
Gary Nichols, John Wimbush, and Joe White in the booth.
Yeah, I do.
Gary, you had a really interesting end to the race there, but tell us about the race overall. You were up front a whole lot tonight. Made it from 24th up to 3rd, so that's awesome to see. Had to avoid a lot of trouble out there. Tell us a little bit about your race and how things.
Well, my strategy when starting 24th was just to hang back and play it cool for the first 100 laps or so, but unfortunately, as people start getting strung out, that just had to be avoided and go for it, you know. But I just tried to back off and take it easy where I could. I had a really, really good long run car. In fact, another 10, 15 laps, and I think we might have won this thing. But I want to thank my pit crew, myself, and I. And, I really enjoyed this race. It's one of the best ones I've had here. It was a real kick. Those last few laps were quite something there with Nathan. He was doing everything he could to keep me behind him for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting in there. We were talking about Nathan, and I was like, oh, he'll probably come out of here to finish second. And all of a sudden, you come out of nowhere to get right on his bumper there. And we saw you do something that we don't see people do when you got into him. And tell us about.
Well, I like to drive people the way I like to be driven, and I don't like to be spun out, even when I'm probably the cause of it. But I don't like to play that way, so I let him have it.
It's good sportsmanship on your part there, even though you could have turned him and done that. But always good to see that there are people that want to be good sports out here and race people the way you like to be raced. So pretty awesome to see you put on a heck of a show tonight. Did a great job coming from 24th, as I mentioned. So good job, man, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good evening, guys. Had a good broadcast, I hope.
As awesome. Great race. My favorite track. So
go. Third place man right there, Gary Nichols. And just out. Let's see someone else. Obviously the race winner there, David. Yeah, but in here. Right fast. Well, John, I mean, real quick, you know, what'd you think? I mean, that again, my hat's off to that move by Gary there. You don't see a lot of that there. Like you say, he could have drove right through Nathan on that end, took that spot away from him. But what about that performance by David out there all night long?
He did a great job, and we know there were several cars that were really fast, but you know, you got to be there at the end. And the 42 did a great job. David obviously had a great setup here, good short run car, and he knew it, and he knew when to push, and that was at the end of the race when the track came to him. Obviously had a great setup all day long, able to keep up with the changes there. Nathan did a great job coming from 2 laps down. Gary being up front there, and the sportsmanship shown there when he got into Nathan is something you don't see a lot of. So I think the guys did a great job. The sportsman division here put on a really good show. This is a very difficult track just to drive anything on, and especially with this car. So I enjoyed the race. Thought they did a terrific job. Had a little bit of everything. They raced each other hard from the beginning to the end.
Absolutely, you know, definitely an outstanding. So when we come back here to the majors for the Sportsman Series, we're going to be at the Zandervoort racetrack, race of the Netherlands. How's that? Sound a lot better there, John?
Mucho better.
All right, good deal. Well, I tell you what, it was an awesome one here at Rockingham for the Rockingham 400 here tonight. And maybe we'll get a talk in with David the next time around here, but he puts it in victory lane there. For myself here and everybody at the majors, and for John up here helping me out, everyone, have a good night.